You think this is just another day in your life? It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you. Today. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now. And the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. Begin by opening your eyes and be surprised that you have eyes you can open. That incredible array of colors that is constantly offered to us for pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. We so rarely note how different it is from moment to moment with clouds coming and going. Open your eyes, look at that. Look at the faces of people whom you meet. Each one has an incredible story behind their face. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. All that life from generations and from so many places all over the world flows together and meets you here like a life-giving water if you only open your heart and drink. Open your heart to the incredible gifts that civilization gives to us. You flip a switch and there is electric light. Turn a faucet and there is warm water and cold water and drinkable water. A gift that millions and millions in the world will never experience. And so I wish you that you will open your heart to all these blessings and let them flow through you. That everyone whom you will meet on this day will be blessed by you, just by your presence. Let the gratefulness overflow into blessing all around you. And then it will really be a good day.
Howdy, y'all.
Welcome, 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 y'all. We are so happy and grateful now that you are all here with us today.
So we're from the South, as you can tell. We use the word y'all, and we mean all of y'all.
That's right. I'm Zan Ray.
My name's Tom Collins, and fortunately, my wife allows me to wear the king cap.
Yes,
She has the queen cap.
we are mentors with Elevatality Emergence, and we're so grateful to be here with every one of you.
We are so privileged to launch this Emergence event. Uh, uh, our mentors, Troy and Dolly, have allowed us the privilege of talking to you first, and we greatly appreciate that. We've been with Elevatality now for about 2 years.
More,
More? Okay.
probably four
Well,
or five.
you know, time flies when you're having fun and learning so much and being enriched by the training, the teaching, and the authenticity of our mentors and the program. It reaches down into your very soul and definitely into your subconscious to enrich you, to inspire. That's what it's done for us. Lynn?
Definitely. You know, I have gone to trainings with many masters all over the world, and I came home and I didn't apply it. And what I want to say that I've learned from this program is that application is the key. And the more that I've applied the information that we've learned, the better my life has become and the more inspiring I have been and inspired. And gosh, my life has changed in so many ways, so many ways. Both of ours have.
Absolutely. And our relationship has been
Grown.
enriched
Yes, it has.
and is growing.
Yes.
So the benefits of being here in this Emergence webinar will be immense for you. The key is just don't read it like a book and put it up on the shelf. That doesn't work. I've done that. I've been there. I've got a lot of them up on my bookshelf. You know, you go to it, hey, I got the t-shirt and I did it. And okay, now I know it. False. You don't know it unless you apply it.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a part of you. And then it becomes a tool that you can use in any situation. It is so empowering. So empowering. So that's a little bit about us. We've been here a while, and we've been fortunate to have been offered the opportunity to be a mentor with this.
Yes.
And we have our own business, which is Passion to Prosperity. And what we learn here in this elevatality, say it right, immersion fits in so well with what we do in helping people, leaving people better than we found them. That's our motto. And that is so confidence building when you talk to people about helping them and serving them. You give them more than what you receive back. However, the enrichment of seeing the satisfaction on their face is so much more.
Yes.
So
Yes.
much more. So much
Yes.
more. Anything to do?
So you know what? You're here today, and we're so grateful that you registered. And there are a couple of things that we want to remind you. We hope that you have your intentions set for what you would like to receive from this.
Absolutely.
We would like for you to get your notebooks and your pens and take notes.
Oh, you mean like that?
Yes, like that.
All right, I got
just like
mine.
that. And if you have questions, make sure that you put them in the chat, and we'll make sure, do our very best that they get answered.
Absolutely. And it's not only Troy Chadwick and Dolly Alessandro that will be involved in this. There are the mentors. you'll receive much information from the mentors
Yes.
because Dolly and Troy will allow us to contribute to your betterment. So remember, this is not something that you just view and then you're off of it and then you're on to something else. If you want to get the value out of this, and that's the key, getting the value, squeezing that juice, getting it, and in inhaling that juice and becoming a part of the experience is don't just view it and then put it on the shelf. Application is the key here. If you're not going to use it, it's not good for you.
That's right.
Because this is good stuff.
It's really good
This is
stuff.
really good stuff. So make sure you got that, which is a pen and a notebook or a sheet of paper or something like that. I got mine, and mine is about halfway full. It could get filled up completely after this Emergence webinar. So buckle up, Buttercup, because you're about to get the good stuff.
We would like to introduce our mentors and our coaches, Dolly Alessandra and Troy Chadwick. We'd like to bring you to the screen.
Oh my gosh. I was smiling from ear to ear watching this, and my heart is so full. That's amazing. That was so fun. That was so fun to watch.
Thank you.
Wow. You really can't make this up. You can't make this up at all. I just wanted to share how I had big smiles on my face too. I just wanted to quickly share the moment that I met Tom and Zan. We were at a billionaire's home. I remember of all the people that were sitting there, you two were the ones that stuck out the most for me. And I've often said how I just fell in love with both of you because of who you both are. And it means so much to Troy and I. What an honor it is for us to have you introduce us. You all have been on this journey.
You all.
Yeah, you got that you become who you surround yourself with. And I speak for me and like looking for you my entire life. We know the greats that you've studied with, and what an honor it is to have both of you on the journey with us. Boy, we've been on all kinds of adventures, haven't we? In such a short period of time. You all truly are a reflection of validation that the good news is really, truly real. It's amazing. Thank you. There's so much about both of you that people don't know yet, but I know that they can feel just as I did when I fell in love with both of you. You radiate so much wisdom.
I loved hearing you speak of how the key component was application.
That is Troy.
And that is the key component. And it's been beautiful to see how you've shifted so much, all just because of that, but not because we told you to, but because you decided to do so yourself. And that is a beautiful testament. And again, thank you so much. Woohoo. Oh my goodness. Wow. So good. All right, so let's move into this a little bit more. Thank you so much. By the way, Zan and Tom are going to be back, so don't worry about that, okay?
Yes, they will to share their story.
So Dolly, let's start with you. Share a little bit about you, and then I'm going to let you have the stage here real quick. Let's talk about
Sure.
your story. Okay.
Wow. I want to share with everyone right now that I'm sitting in a dream that has come true. I'm sitting in what our mentor would say is a C-type fantasy-like goal that doesn't come without contrast, which is what being this beautiful human would be, as spirit This is what we've come to experience. And wow. I'm so grateful that I'm aware of what I am today, because the challenges that I've faced in, I think, not 8 years, 9 years that I've been on this journey now. There's no such thing as time, right? Everything. Those challenges were going to be there. However, had I not had the courage to follow my heart, when I say I fell in love with Tom and Zan, I fell in love with their heart. I didn't know what that was, on the depth that I understand it now. And this is what our teacher, our mentor, our mentors have taught us. To borrow the belief of others. There's so many things that we'll be going over with you today. The people that we're going to introduce mean so much to us. We burned all the ships behind us every time to find them. And it's so sweet. I really want to share this. If you all knew, and we're going to go, I suppose I'll take you on that journey with me. My dad recently sent me a text, and he was listening to all the wins. I'm so proud to share with him. You're going to hear from my sister too, and how proud he is of both of us. Money can't buy this, what you all are about to remember, because it's so much more. The money is going to give you the freedom for sure, and it is there for you to give you that. What we're going to share with you was something that Bob Proctor said existed, and well, at least he said he saw it. He wished that it had existed. So then I took that wish and made it mine, because he said you could ask for whatever you wanted. And that for me was, he would say, because I wanted it so bad, I was in such a hurry back in 2017, in an absolute panic. And by the way, I'm going to travel with you all places, but it'll all come together, okay? This is why I drop into your heart and stay out of your head intellectually. Where is this girl going? What is this all about? You're going to miss the whole thing. There is so much that I didn't understand then, that I have that awareness now, to be able to share with you in a way. Once again, when Bob said, and this is actually, he said, if there was a needle, and because I was in a hurry, said, if I had a needle and I could shoot in your butt this knowledge that I have, this wisdom, the sharing of the good news, if I could just, and I thought, well, I'm in a hurry, and I believe that it exists. And I feel, because of my experience and the speed that I feel that I have gone, because then too, I planted a seed that I wanted to meet the leaders that led in love and light. I had no idea what that meant. I also wanted to be behind the scenes. I had all these desires. I had these like fantasies, all exactly like a kid. And then here comes this mentor, and he's speaking very intellectually, and he sounds really smart. And then every once in a while, I'd hear a whisper of him say, fantasize. Right? And I heard that, and I thought, he's saying it. And there was this pull, this draw, and I was willing to risk it all. Now, I had hit rock bottom. At least that's what it felt to me in 2017. And it's so cool, because some of the mentors that you're going to see today were exactly like what I imagined the people I would find along the way to go on this journey with me. Because once again, the challenges are always going to be there. There's going to be dreamers, others that are going to hold space for you, where you borrow their belief. And this is what I had to do, because to think, is there a way? There's no bypass. I didn't say cheating. This is really important that I'm able to transfer that to each of you. I wasn't looking to cheat. But if there was a faster way, I was willing to do whatever it was going to take. And boy, would it be cool if I could do that with people that I loved, people that were like me, dreamers, people that thought as weird as I did. When I first started this journey, my dad said to me, don't tell me what you're spending, but keep doing what you're doing.
Mhm.
And then he said, and this is for later, because this really comes in really fun. He goes, not to get into the numerology, but he wrote me recently, and he said, after a conversation that we had, and he wrote and he said, well, what somebody really wise once said, what you're seeking is seeking you. And I said, yeah, that was Rumi. And he goes, no, knucklehead, I was talking about you. Yeah. That is priceless. That my father, who, by the way, is incredibly intelligent, man, when it comes to politics, especially with the facts, he knows a lot. And it meant a lot for him to say that. And once again, these are just priceless moments. What you, again, are witnessing is a fantasy like dream come true. I wanted to surround myself with others that saw this mission of I just always thought there must be other people that are like me. And, the kind ones. Once again, that was the leading of love and light. It takes courage because there is the word, there's many that come to me, is the contrast. And so when those challenges come forth, because of what you all are going to remember today as you hear from our mentors, because what they're going to do, and also we're going to give you that shot. Not really, right? If you borrow my belief, and if you believe what I'm saying is true, then that can be true for you, that you don't have to wait so long to shift. Maybe you could do it even faster. There's stories, when you drop into your heart, once again, and you travel with them through experience, this is wisdom. This is not something in stories that we're sharing about others. We're sharing stories about us, the challenges that we have faced, real, raw, absolute suffering, that's what it feels like. And as you get to learn more and more and remember more and more of who you are, you're going to see and feel what I like to say is a relief. You can breathe, right? And I learned, I don't remember, not learn, we heard from, when we breathe, it's the word Yahweh. Is that what we say?
Mhm.
Which is God, infinite intelligence, source, which is who we are. I wanted it to be effortless. Ease and grace. And I wanted clarity too. Of course I did, because like attracts like. And that's why all of you are here, whether you're here live or on replay. You're seeking what you understand, we understand as speed. But once again, there's no cheating. There's no such thing. There's no bypass. What's going to happen, though, however, is that you're going to have a higher level of awareness. You're going to see from God's point of view. So when those challenges do come, remembering who you are, getting back into alignment, and responding versus reacting. Why? Because you're going to summon other people's stories. You're going to hear the stories of our mentors. Troy then is going to simplify and bring it all into order. And you'll be like, oh, shit, I've heard that before, but this is even more enlightening than it ever has been before. organizing the story, right? We're going to go really, really far. The tree is going to move. The branches are going to sway. Okay. And this is for me what that masculine energy is going to be the grounding, grounding you back, grounding you back. Because you're going to take your stories and you're going to remember it later. It's called integration. You're going to go on a wild and it's going to be chaotic, all kinds of pictures. And what has this got to do? I watch your thoughts and how you think. And instead, just go along, go with the flow, just watch the movie. My goal was to be behind the the scenes of incredible leaders. I wanted to work with Bob Proctor. I wanted to go to his house. I wanted to use his bathroom. I wanted to see where he slept. I wanted to grab his books and open it up and take pictures like a spy, not knowing that when you went there, he didn't care what you did. You could take pictures of anything. He was so wide open. It just whatever you want. Trusted everyone. We got to roam his home, and there was no security, not that I remember anyway. I've got pictures of me with my mouth wide open with all these private pictures of him. These were dreams of mine. When I say I was broke and broken, I wasn't working at the time. I actually say in my stories, I think I was earning $30,000, with overtime, but I don't even think I was working at the time because my kids were so little. It was more expensive for me to put them in daycare than to work the job I did because I couldn't earn enough money. And then here comes Bob Proctor, exactly the character that he needs to be for me at that time. He has to be exactly that. And that's why too, it wasn't Tony Robbins, right? And later we go see him with one of our mentors who's a master coach with him. And we got to be in such great seats, didn't we? We manifested that like it was behind the scenes, wasn't it, Troy?
Mhm.
Behind the scenes, we got to see the back. But it wasn't him. It wasn't all these huge names that you might have heard before. And Bob Proctor is a big name. However, when you're ready, he will show up. And he was exactly who I needed at the time. And I did exactly what he told me to do when I was at the rock bottom. And at first, they were simple things. Write this out. Say this out loud. Borrow my belief. Very little things. Because all this other stuff he was doing, you're going to see Troy do it too. Like he starts to bring like weird things like this up. And I'm like, what is he talking about? I have no idea. And Bob goes, but I would pay attention to the things I did understand, such as repetition. Come back and watch this video. The investment that I made in a program called The Matrix, and this is once again, stay in your heart. We're going to go in speed, so you're going to feel a lot of discomfort. You're going to have a lot of programs that come in. And that is not something I'm affirming. Instead, what it is I want you to feel the energy of what I'm sharing instead. And that is that you didn't come here by accident. You came here by design. And there will be messages transmitted to you, which is energy. We talk about manifestation, and Troy will even say, he's like, that word is thought externalizing itself. And again, he's going to put that in order in a way that makes so much sense that when you do and you are aware, when a program does run, which is going to cause you to fall into a different vibration, which is another level of dimension, a frequency, you cannot hear. This is where judgment, this is where application comes in. Application doesn't mean physical actions that you're going to take. This means the actual internal work you're going to do. How am I going to think? What is there for me to, this is what Bob would always say, not always, and this was ingrained, listen to understand, right? Tune into the energy. Our mentors and what we're going to do, this is our intention, because what we put out, we get back. I was recently sharing, and Troy and we were celebrating the biggest financial, month we've ever had. And for me, it was incredibly effortless compared to all the things I've ever done. I don't share that once again, and this is practice, your application here. It's not to impress you, it's to impress upon you. That if I can do it, I promise you, any of you can. Absolutely, any of you can. And these are going to be, once again, fantasy-like goals, because I went from being broken, applying exactly what my mentor told me to do. And for me, I was writing out what was called Serenity by James Allen. You hear Troy talk about him a lot. He told me to write out 10 things I was grateful for. You guys watched that video today. We are transferring all kinds of energy to you. You don't even know it's happening, but we're doing it because that's our intention. Because what we put out, we get back. What you put in, you get back. Okay. All we have to do is to be. This is your right now for each of you to be in the sacred space, to be that with us. I'm so honored to introduce all the mentors that we have. This is something that, once again, that money cannot buy, because even my father knew the seed I planted then about this world that I could see, that I was going to find those leaders. There are people that we work with. Are you kidding? Like, no way, no way, no way, no way. And we do. And we've done things, and we've seen each other, been a witness to testify for each other that what we share with you is true. And it's the truth about who you are. So I just want to say, as we bring our mentors up and as Troy is teaching too, yes, write your notes and then also go back and listen again, because they are transferring that, what Bob would say, that needle, right? Because it's experience, it's an energy that you can tune into. So I think my story would be just the ending of it is, like I said, you guys felt my emotion when I first started out. I was taking in what an honor it is, because like I said, I never would have imagined that Tom and Zan would be introducing us. These guys are incredibly successful. They've done so many incredible things in pivoting, being the light, no matter what happened outside of them. And their union, this love that they share, this adventure that they get to have. I mean, this is something, once again, that money cannot buy. It means the world to me. And yeah, I'm in my dream home. I'm in a dream car. My sister's coming out 2 times this month. We're going to do things we never thought we could. But as a kid, I always knew I wanted to. She was my Madonna. I wanted to be close to her. And then later, it was a dream of hers. And then, boom, the other mentors that you're going to meet, I have such a deep history with. And we're going to, again, take you there with us. We're going to have you travel there with us. And I'm looking forward to that. I hope I shared that okay, Troy, because I share that it comes out differently each time.
Oh, it was great. And I love hearing your story about this transition. And it's so funny to even reflect with regards to stuff that's happened with me as well. And what's beautiful about all of it is how it was something that moved into form. You see, it was a result that changed. And the question though is, well, how did the result change? And that's something that most people don't understand. And even as you were speaking about what it is that we're doing here right now, and this beautiful community that's been built and how it's growing even more, where there's more people helping, it actually, like, I have to pinch myself too. It's like, oh wow, this is really, really happening, and it's unfolding. And on top of that, even though there's a lot of work to do, it's still a lot of fun and it's very fulfilling. That's the best part. When we see change in people because they're using what we instruct them to use, and then the results change. It's like, okay, good, because that's what we want. You and I, we talk about it quite often, to where, okay, how can we help these people? How can we serve them? How can we help them to grow? Because when they win, we win, and that means everybody wins.
Yeah.
And that is really amazing, and that's awesome. So as you were talking, it's fascinating, because the thing that's been coming to my mind is the theme that I feel is, starting to unfold. Zan and Tom, when you were talking, I felt a little bit about that too, and Dolly, you as well. Now I'm thinking about it as well, and that is to move through the fear. In other words, you have it, but you do it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And how important it is for you not to stay in what's called the comfort zone, because that comfort zone frame of mind is not good if you want to grow. And that's the key component, because everybody wants to grow, but it's something that happens subconsciously that most people don't know is happening. So our invitation for you as we're going through this, and by the way, lots of other things can unfold too as we're going through this. But with that is to, you know what, how about just right now throughout this call, just accept right now, you know what, you're going to let go of any ideas that say you can't, any ideas that are rooted in worry and doubt, lack, limitation, and to let that go and open your mind to new possibilities, that it is possible for you. Now, I know on the surface that might not make any sense at all. It may be something that's really crazy. And yeah, the way I think about that is I love bringing in the example of the Karate Kid, right? Dolly, Karate Kid is really cool. And, you know, Daniel wanted to learn karate and he says, okay. But then Mr. Miyagi, some wax on, wax off, paint the fence. Wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
But then what was fascinating with the story, and by the way, I believe that this is exactly why that movie skyrocketed and touched so many people, because it was dealing with principles, something that many people could relate to when they see it, when they remember. You said that, Dolly. This is not about becoming, it's about remembering, because that's what we do, help people to remember. So with that being said, it's going to be just like with what Dolly shared. A lot of the stuff that we're going to say is not going to make sense. It's going to be like, how the heck can that happen? But when you start to dive into it and you start to use it, things change. That's what happened for me. That's how I was able to manifest Bob driving me to his house, winning the day with him. And actually my favorite part of what was manifested. And I have fun with this, Dolly. I love that you brought that into. Okay, remember, manifestation is nothing more than thought externalization. If you have a problem with manifesting, in other words, delivering a result, there's nothing wrong with you. You just have to shift how you're thinking. That's it. And what we do is we teach you how to shift how you're thinking so you get on that frequency so that you do deliver the result that you would love to have. And that's totally worth this webinar all by itself. If what, Dolly? If you use it, right? If you apply it. But anyways, the one thing that I loved the most with regards to Bob was, you know, connecting with him in a deep emotional way that nobody else connected with him. Because that's one of the things that I said I would do. And it happened. But see, this is where most people don't understand how it happened. And how it happened was because I connected with the idea. And it was so beautiful to receive that letter from him to state point blank that, you know, Troy, I receive a lot of gifts in many of my seminars, and there's a lot that comes to me, and yours, without question, was the most meaningful I have ever received. And that's when I went, oh, yeah, that was great. But then again, how did I do it? Well, everything that we're sharing with you is going to share with you how we do it, how I did it, how Dolly did it, even our amazing mentors that are here who stepped into it. And by the way, they will tell you when they speak about the fear that they had and how that worry and doubt was there. But then after they go through it, it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm still alive. What the heck was I worried about? See, that's just a mental game. Which brings up another important point, all of you to listen to carefully. And this is something both Dolly and I really love talking about when we have our meetings together. We reinforce this within us. And that's important to understand that, first of all, fear is nothing more than feedback, and that what causes the fear is nothing more than worry and doubt. And the only way to get through it is if you apply, is if you maneuver through it, is if you practice. And once you do more of that, the next thing you know is now there's a transformation. There's a different version of you. Wait a minute, something's different. I'm still alive, but I've changed. Why? Because I was courageous enough to step into that discomfort zone. And that's really important. So many of you, I'm certain, have some really great, awesome goals that you would love to materialize. And that's something that we're going to all invite you to actually write down right now, because that, whatever it is, I have news for you. It's already done. Didn't that sound crazy the first time you heard that, Dolly? It's like, it's
Yeah,
already finished. Creation is finished. What the heck are you talking about?
it
It's already done.
is. And if you're, and when you're a visionary, which I know that all of you are, you see it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see it and you think you're crazy because you saw it. And then you think everybody else saw it. And then when they say you're crazy, how could you think that? And you're like, wait, you didn't see that? I saw it. I totally saw how it could be. But that whole thing lit up actually. And they're like, what the? You're so, ba 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 ba. And all of a sudden, boom, 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 all the lights go off.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're back to conformity. Yeah. But I would see it all the time. I'm like, wait, wait. Who can relate to that? Can I?
And isn't it fascinating how the how, when it shows up, is nothing like what we thought it was going to be?
Nothing.
The
Nothing.
how is none of our business. You know what? Let's all type that in the comments. If you all could do this right now, type in the comments, how is none of my business? It's none of your, I'm gonna say it the Troy way. It's none of your freaking business. How is none of your business? And if you could just grab onto that by itself, we were watching that video from Steve Harvey, right?
Mm,
When he says, you know, there's a video that he had is you ask not because you have not. And then he points out, if you look at what the rules are, it's this: ask, believe, receive. Where's how? It's nowhere there.
none.
Ask, believe, receive.
And Dorothy from Wizard of Oz had no idea the how either.
Yeah.
Right? Just follow the yellow brick road, which was the light, the leading edge.
Yeah.
And then all these cool people she met along the way, like
Yeah.
the coolest ones ever, the ones that saw it too, you know? Yeah.
You know, this
Right.
is so fascinating that you're bringing this up. And I want to tie it to every one of you right now, because again, there's this crazy idea that you would love to make a material fact in your life. Maybe it's dramatically changing your income, changing your lifestyle, maybe even doing what we're doing. I don't know what it is for you. But guess what? The way that you're going to get there is literally by ask, believe, and then you'll receive. And then all the characters that you just talked about in the Wizard of Oz, they start to show up and they help you to get there. That's what you just shared, Dolly, with your experience.
Oh, yes. Without a doubt. And by the way, I just want to say again, this is to impress upon your subconscious mind. And this is powerful because my win is yours. Is I do live, and there's witnesses. There are people that have been here that are on this call. I do live on a green mountain in Emerald City. There's a yellow line that goes all the way up that you can follow the yellow brick road into a gated community, where I have complete view of a military base that sings to me 3 times a day. It's Fort Carson. And then I have the Green Mountain view in the front, and it's called the Broadmoor. I used to come here as a kid to look at lights and actually we only came here once. I think after that it was like, well, we can't afford it, so fuck it. Like, why would we go? Oh, you say freaking, I said fuck.
And I'll say it too, fuck it too. Okay.
Yeah. And this doesn't mean, once again, because Bob would say it once, you know, I didn't know that I could even ask for this. This was a process. And along the way, the journey has been what has been so beautiful. I mean, I'm here and now it's become a norm. Everything in my home is pink and, you know, all these beautiful things that surround me because of what I love to see and the beauty that I see now, the colors that weren't there before, or they were always there, I just didn't see. You know, it's exactly what our mentor shared. It's like you reach your goal, and I just shared with you guys that I mean, this was it's another C-type goal. And once you hit that, it's like, oh, I could have said it there. And every time we apply it and implement it, as each of us are doing now. By the way, don't break character, guys. All of us are playing it.
Yeah, you're all playing a character right now. Just a matter of which one you're going to play and stay in harmony with.
Right? So be conscious of your thought.
Mhm.
What program are you running?
Mhm.
Right? And make the story fit what it is that you desire. That's what I did. Bob Proctor, when he charged me $15,500 for a 6-day event. Now, keep in mind, do you remember I was making less than 30? Actually, I wasn't making any money. I had 2 kids. I was about to get a divorce, and I'd probably lose my kids. Like, where am I going to come up with that kind of money? I need to pay for airfare. I need to pay for a hotel. Absolutely illogical. I see
And it
Tom.
showed up.
It did. No, the way does what you meet the universe halfway and the way will be revealed, but you've got to be courageous. I mean, you've got to
Mhm.
say, I'm all in. And, that's a full surrender. And the story here that you're going to hear today from each of us is to help you along your challenges, because you're going to go into a challenge and there's going to be a moment of a pause where you breathe in God, right? Yeah, wait, breathe in God. Okay, moment of pause. What program do I run right now? Because before I was running the wrong one and I thought I was sabotaging. And then Troy will go over that. It's not you, it's the program that's been running.
Yep.
That's implementation, application right in that moment. And what
Mhm.
you're going to do is you're going to summon someone's story. Tom and Zan said this, Dolly said this, Troy said this, Therese, Tereska, Ingra, Jane,
Mhm.
John, Jody. They said this. I remember their story because of how it made me feel. The intellectual part, you're going to forget. You're not going to be able to say it yet. That's why repetition is key. But the story, you're going to be able to tell. I go into my dad and I'd be like, so he was like Bob Proctor was like, he was a cleaning guy and then he became a millionaire. Yeah. My dad was like, how? I'm like, I don't know. Wait, let me go back. But the story is what kept my heart there. I
Mhm.
knew that what he was saying was true because he had wisdom. It's
Mhm.
so good. I love what we do.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot of fun,
It's a lot of
especially when we see people follow the directions. And Dolly, you said something really cool, and it's worth emphasizing again. And by the way, you're going to hear a lot of repetition here in this webinar, and it's that way on purpose. Repetition is the mother of learning. With that being said, again, it's tied into understanding a basic principle of as within, so without. But anyways, you were tying and talking about how um, it had to be imagined first, and you had to dream it, you had to fantasize. And again, every one of you has that. The question, though, is now whether or not you're going to be loyal to it. And if you're not, but because if you're not loyal to the idea, and by the way, all that's happening inside, it's not going to deliver change, which leads to the one main piece that I was actually referencing to. And you were talking about action, and the action that we're talking about when we're talking about action is the mental action. Okay. And that right there is a very big and key component, especially when it comes to delivering different outcomes. Because most people, when they think of action, they think of it, the physical part. Yeah, I know, I gotta move. And then they'll say this. What is it, Dolly? How?
Mhm.
Well, it all starts in the mind. And the stuff that we share with you, if you use it, if you apply it consistently, persistently, mentally, it will evolve to a frequency, which then will deliver the behavior. And that's what you did. As I'm listening to your story and just reflecting on that right now. And remember, I want every one of you to tie this to what you would love to have. There might be something right now that you think is completely crazy and impossible. It's like, oh my God, who am I to do that? Well, Dolly just shared with you her story where that was something on the surface where it's like, no, that's not way. The appearance says no. There's no way. But there is something inside. There's this burn inside. There's a beautiful connection with the idea. And you didn't say this, Dolly, but you've said this to me as you have shared that story before. But you were literally living from, you know what, if it's possible, for them, it's possible for me. And
Mhm.
and then you were loyal to that. Earl Nightingale said something,
Mhm.
and a lot of us have accepted this in the personal development world. And that is, you become what you think about most of the time. And many of us have taken that as gospel because Earl Nightingale has a really great voice. Okay. And then Bob has affirmed it too as well. But when you look at it and you start to dive into everything with regards to what's happening in the mind, that's not necessarily true. And the way that you can actually prove that it's not true is just think of your own life in terms of maybe you've been seeking to earn a lot more money and you've been thinking about it a lot, as a matter of fact, most of the time. And you've been wanting a lot of big change most of the time. Matter of fact, you want it really bad most of the time, but then it doesn't materialize. So if that statement is true, then why isn't it showing up? Well, it's because it's something much deeper than that. It's not you become what you think about most of the time, it's you become how you're thinking most of the time. How you're thinking. Change how you're thinking, you change your life. Not what you're thinking, how you're thinking. What do you believe to be true? What are the habits you have? What's your perception? See, those are things that you've got to shift. And that's what we've dove into. Dolly, it's so fun talking about self-sabotage. I mean, both of us used to accept that as gospel. You know, we used to accept the idea that, oh, you're the only problem you have and you're the only solution. Oh, yes, it was said. Matter of fact, you know what? Even Bob Proctor said that.
Mm-hmm.
There was something that was written in. I'm going, wait a minute, that's not true. And I'll bet you anything, if he were alive today physically and we had this discussion, he would make a modification about it.
Well, he has, just not in the physical.
Yeah. Yeah, just not in the physical. Yeah, actually it's to and through us, which is really awesome. But with that being said, you know, that's important to grab onto. And even when we were maneuvering through learning with Rami Albatraoui, remember that? Reading his book, Can You Really Think and Grow Rich? He was always talking about what. And then through that conversation, when it was being dissected, I would always say, now pay attention to what's happening into his mind, because it was sprinkled everywhere in there. I want you to notice about his belief, how he's thinking, what are his habits, and then more and more. It was so fun to hear. Rami says, oh my gosh, you know what? That's the way it is. Listen to what he's talking about here. Yes, you've got to pay attention to what I believe. You've got to pay attention to the patterns in my mind, because that's what led to me doing the things I needed to do to get there. You know, that came from Robert Collier in Secret of the Ages. There's this one section in there where he talks about when we see successful people who are living how we would love to live, he emphasizes the importance of this, that it's not what they do that you should emulate. It's how they think. It's what they believe. Because that's what's going to matter. And that's what's going to deliver your outcomes. And if you don't change that, guess what doesn't change? Your results. It's been wonderful to see that, Dolly, as we've been unfolding this, and everything that we're building and have built is all about conveying that message. How can we help someone to understand it better so that they can use it more, so that they can feel really great and then also deliver really great outcomes? And that's what's unfolding. You know, what is the goal? For instance, like think about the golden rule of application. This is a really big deal. Every one of you, it's so important for you to get this too. There's not a single one of you here right now who's watching this either live or in replay who doesn't already have enough knowledge to 10x to 20x to 100x your results.
Yeah.
The issue is not about more knowledge. Now, does that mean you don't get more knowledge? No. What it means is you don't collect knowledge and you don't look at it as something that you gather and say, oh, good, I know it. And then you leave it from there, because that, unfortunately, is what the personal development world has embedded within that whole culture. Society of information gatherers. We were actually part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we came from that. I mean, even, Dolly, how many times have we heard even Bob say, the only way to get there is to study?
Mm-hmm.
But then what wasn't he sharing, which he was doing? He wasn't sharing how he was using it, which is actually the most important part. See, it's the application. So, for instance, when Dolly, it was so beautiful. You were talking about how you dreamed about this, you fantasized. Now, pay attention to this, everyone. So, Dolly, you're saying that because you literally want people to do that because it works for you.
Well, yeah, and
And
when
then
they
see,
do,
this is,
no, and when they do, we get to go there together. Is that
yeah.
me that's freezing? Am I okay?
Sometimes it's okay though. You're good.
Okay, good. Well, and I just wanted to share two things as you're going on, Troy. Number one, I was a witness that watched Troy win that day with Bob being driven in Bob's amazing car, which, by the way, was when you understand an energy exchange, when the seed in which you plant, it's that is absolutely so brilliant.
And he's not a good driver, by the way.
Yeah.
He's a
Okay,
terrible
so this,
driver.
by the way, this is behind the scenes. Like what you're hearing now, like how few people will be able to share the story that you did. I remember I would say I wanted to spend time with Nikola Tesla or Albert Einstein. Like what would that be worth to be behind the scenes with them? How amazing would that be? Um, even when you mentioned Earl Nightingale, I spent a whole weekend with Diana Nightingale in Sedona, Arizona, which was his wife. I didn't even know she was alive. Now, I only mention this because once again, this was something I wanted to experience.
Mhm.
There were some things I wanted to know. How fun is that to be able to do this? And this is how I feel about those that I'm around today. Because once again, what I wrote out 8-9 years ago was to work with those that led in love and light. Powerful leaders. So, anyways, please continue.
Yeah.
This is really great.
See, now, are you noticing a theme here? Everything happens twice. Matter of fact, all of you type that in the comments. Everything happens twice.
That's not true.
Everything happens twice. First in mind, second in physical form. And a way that you can demonstrate this very simply, that wasn't actually proper English, was that? The way that you can demonstrate this simply, okay, is to just look at things that are in the room you're in right now that were made. And you can start naming them, got the lights, got monitor, got controller, got wallet, got enthusiasm person. All of those things. There's so many material things, so many results. And by the way, include in that your results as well, because that counts as part of things that are in the outer world. Now, what do they all have in common at their most basic fundamental level? And many people will start going into atoms and all this other. No. It goes something even simpler than that. And that is, they were all in thinking substance. They were shaped and molded. So in other words, it was the thought first before it became the material thing. Somebody imagined it in some way, shape, or form. They were loyal to that unseen reality, which then led to that result. Now, the key component, though, is that they were loyal to the idea. They connected to it emotionally, because that's what I really mean by that. Neville Goddard talks about that. You got to fuse with the state. It becomes your home, the workshop, the lens from which you view the world. And that's how everything was made. And so here, when we're talking about manifestation, okay, thought externalization, if you want to change that in your life, no matter what it is, you must, as what Robert Collier says, you must build it in your own mind first. There's that beautiful line in that chapter of Primal Cause. The secret of all power, all success, all riches is in first thinking powerful thoughts, successful thoughts, thoughts of wealth, of supply. We must build it in our own mind first. Type that in the comments. I must build it in my own mind first. I must build it in my own mind first. And that's something that so many people don't get. Many people build in their own mind first things from their old memories and from the precedent, from patterns that are inside of them that they don't even know that they have. But that unfortunately delivers more of the same. You don't have to hold the image of something from the past on the screen of your mind. You can actually hold and create whatever image you want. See, this is not taught. And it's so beautiful, Dolly, when you shared that experience with you and how you saw that, and you actually decided to do as what Lily Ameola said in her song Daydream. And even though Daydream wasn't even around then, you decided to live your daydream, which brings up another important point. All of you, you need to pay attention to this, okay? Because your dreams they are important. But you know what's even more important is that you don't follow them and you don't chase them. And isn't that interesting how the overwhelming majority of the personal development world says that follow your dreams, chase your dreams. It's even on shirts. Now, I understand the psychology that they're trying to convey with regards to that because you're going in that direction, but I got news for you. That's not good. Think about what the picture is. The picture is you don't have it, and you're reaffirming that space. Neville Goddard talks about that. I will be is a confession that I am not. See, you don't need to follow your dreams. And by the way, the main reason why you don't have to follow them is because they follow you.
Mhm.
Thomas, I'm here. Ramon, I'm here. Lisa, I'm here. Kirsten, I'm here. Kimmy, I'm here. Dolly, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. Yeah. See, they follow you everywhere. You don't need to follow them. What you need to do is you need to give them life. You need to give them life. You got to do exactly as what Thomas Troward shared in entering into the spirit of it. You've got to vivify it with your own vitality, and it in turn will vivify you with its livingness, its spirit. Don't give life to what you don't want. Don't start talking about, but this is not happening, that's not happening. Yes, it's okay to identify it without being emotionally charged by it, just so that you know where you're going to move from. But I got news for you. If you are constantly looking at that, what's not happening and what's not happening, all you're doing is inviting into your mind that very image. And guess what? You already have ideas that are connected to those images through habit. And that means you're going to actually see more of that, which means you're going to feel the same, which means you're going to act the same. And now you're in this vicious cycle, which is what I call hell, where things aren't changing. And that's no way to live. And that's not how you're supposed to live. That's a man-made problem. You know, it's the mortal man, it's the carnal man thinking, and that's an enemy to God. It's an enemy to progress, an enemy to creation. So good. So this is great. Look at everybody's writing that. I must build it in my own mind first. You've got to build it in your own mind first. Ah, how's this feeling so far, everybody? Type in the comments hearts if this has been a beautiful connection for you so far. And then I think from here, what I think we should do, Dolly, is we should lead them into a meditation.
Yes.
How many of you are ready for a beautiful meditation? We have one that's ready for you, and it's a beautiful meditation that's tied into going into a chamber and accepting the idea. Now, I want all of you here to think about this, because here we've made the suggestion for the meditation, correct? So how many of you, let's have them type in the comments meditation to acknowledge that the idea of the meditation is here, right? Meditation. Okay, this meditation is so cool because it's going to reveal to you something beautiful about how things work. And again, I want you to notice the emphasis and how we're actually giving you little clues right now that you may not be aware of, but you'll see why in a moment as we go through this. Okay. So is everybody ready? Dolly, you ready for it?
I'm ready.
You ready for it? Is everybody ready for it? I'm ready for it. Type in the comments if you're ready. Dolly, if you can give them instructions for preparation while I get the meditation ready, that would be fantastic.
Sure.
Okay.
The preparation that I would want someone to tell me if I didn't have the awareness that I do today would be, once again, If you don't understand what the instructions might be, just let go of control and allow the words, because your word is your wand, and we have powerful intentions for you. We want your dreams to come true. We want your fantasies to expand. So know that intention. Yeah, I know I am, right? And receive the gift. And that gift is, we would like to give you awareness. So just let go. Just breathe. There's no wrong way of doing it, is my point.
Yeah.
Let's go. See you on the other side.
All right. Bear with me a second here. One second. Okay, bear with me. Switch this over. Let's begin by bringing your attention to your breath. No need to change it. Just notice it. Notice the air as it enters your body, and notice it as it leaves. Allow the breath to slow on its own.
With each breath, allow your body to soften. Let your shoulders release. Let your jaw loosen. Let the muscles around your eyes relax. There is nothing you need to prepare for. You are simply arriving.
Take a slow breath in through your nose, and a longer breath out through your mouth. Again, in and out. Gently say to yourself, I am safe to slow down.
Begin to feel the weight of your body where it rests. Notice how the surface beneath you supports you without effort. You are not holding yourself up. You are being held. There is nothing you need to manage, nothing you need to solve.
Let your attention turn inward, not to think, just to notice. Notice that you are aware, that something is noticing your breath, your body, the space around you. Quietly acknowledge within, I am present.
Now, in your awareness, notice yourself standing before an opening. It may feel like a doorway, or a window, or a simple opening in space. There is nothing dramatic about it. It feels familiar, as if you have been here before.
Through the opening, you see a quiet stone chamber. The walls are solid and unmoving. They hold the space without effort. Light enters the room at an angle, not bright, not dim, just enough to reveal what is already there. Softly notice and say inwardly, I allow myself to observe.
At the center of the chamber is a carved wooden table. The surface is smooth from use, not polished, just worn enough to feel known. Along the edges, simple geometric patterns are carved into the wood, repeating, balanced, deliberate. The table feels steady, grounded, reliable.
On the table rest a few simple objects. A clear glass vessel filled with water, still and unmoving. A closed book, its pages uneven, as if it has been opened many times before. A small clock rests nearby, quiet, present, not directing anything. Nothing here is in a hurry.
Inside the chamber, you see yourself standing at the table. Not as you are now. You are seeing yourself at an earlier moment. The moment when you first became aware of this meditation, before you engaged with it, before you participated in the experience. You are simply encountering the idea of it.
Notice how you are hearing about it. The quiet engagement happening in your mind. The connection forming with the idea itself. Stay with that moment. Notice what happens inside before you step into it.
First, there is recognition, a quiet sense that this aligns with something you already know. It does not feel foreign. It does not feel new. It feels familiar.
Then there is resonance, not excitement, not urgency, a calm agreement in the body. This feels right.
As that settles, notice the relief that follows. The release of inner pressure. The sense that something no longer needs to be figured out. Nothing is being solved. Something is being allowed.
And now, notice something subtle but important. It feels finished internally. Not because anything has happened yet, but because nothing more needs to be decided. The inner conversation is complete.
From that completion, curiosity appears naturally, not as effort, just openness. And only then, participation follows. You see yourself stepping into the experience, engaging with it, allowing yourself to be here, not because you made yourself, but because it already felt settled inside.
Inner acceptance first, participation second. This experience existed internally before it was entered. Notice that clearly.
And now, notice something else. Notice yourself here. In this meditation, participating in it right now. Notice that this moment is not separate from what you just observed. You are experiencing the expression of it now.
You are inside the effect of an earlier inner agreement. Nothing new had to happen. Nothing needed to be forced. You simply followed what was already accepted. Let that register. From this recognition, gently say to yourself, as within, so without.
Now remain in the chamber. Do not leave this inner posture because something important is available to you here. What you just witnessed is not unique to this experience. It is the way anything meaningful in your life has ever begun.
From this same quiet awareness, bring to mind something you genuinely want as part of your life. A result you would love to see expressed as a lived experience. Not something you think you should want. Not something chosen for approval. Something that would genuinely change how you live, how you feel, how you move through your days. Let it be real for you.
As you hold this goal lightly in awareness, begin the same way you did before. First, notice recognition. Does this goal align with something you already know to be true about yourself? Does it feel like an extension of who you are, not a contradiction? If it does, notice that familiarity. If it does not yet, simply notice that without forcing anything. Gently acknowledge within, this feels familiar to me.
Now notice resonance, not excitement, not motivation. Does this goal feel right in your body, appropriate, belonging? Let yourself feel where the body agrees, even subtly. Quietly recognize, my body responds to this.
As that settles, notice what follows. Relief. What would soften if this were allowed? What tension would ease if you no longer had to argue with this desire? Not because it has happened, but because it no longer needs defending. Stay with that softening. Let yourself affirm gently, I allow this to be easy.
And now notice something deeper. Let this goal feel finished internally. Not achieved in form, but complete in decision. As if the inner conversation about whether this is possible has ended. Nothing more needs to be debated. Rest there. With quiet certainty, acknowledge, this is settled within me.
From this completion, notice curiosity arise. Not urgency, not pressure, just a natural openness to engage with life from this place. No action is required now. Let this recognition land as you say inwardly, I am open to what follows.
Remain here for a few moments, not doing anything, not trying to make anything happen, just allowing this inner state to be familiar. Notice how natural it feels to be here. Not special, not distant, simply available. This is how things begin. As you remain here, gently think from the goal you allowed to settle within you. Not about it, from it. And notice these recognitions arise naturally, without effort. This feels familiar to me. My body responds to this. I allow this to be easy. This is settled within me. I am open to what follows. Let them come together as a single inner posture.
Let yourself rest here for a few breaths. Notice how there is nothing you need to hold in place. This posture doesn't require effort. It meets you when you arrive, the same way your breath meets you, the same way you meet yourself. There is nothing to recall, nothing to recover. And from this quiet recognition, allow these truths to be felt. This feels familiar to me. My body responds to this. I allow this to be easy. This is settled within me. I am open to what follows.
Stay with this for a moment longer. Notice how it doesn't fade when you stop focusing on it. It remains because it's already yours. There is no transition you need to make, nothing to carry.
Now allow the imagery to soften, not disappear, just recede. Bring your attention back to your breath, in and out. Feel the gentle rhythm of it moving through you.
Begin to notice your body more fully, the weight of it, the contact beneath you. Notice the space around you, the quiet sounds, the temperature of the air. Let awareness widen naturally, calmly and assuredly. Say to yourself, I carry this awareness with me. Take one slow breath in and a full breath out.
When you are ready, gently return. Eyes open or closed. No rush, no separation, just a soft transition back into your day. Let this final truth settle quietly within you. I move through life from cause, not effect.
My goodness. Wasn't that beautiful? That's how everything happens. Isn't that a beautiful connection? It's, pay attention to the meditation. We mentioned the meditation. And then we point out, guess what? You're in the meditation. So it's called connection. And what's beautiful within that, there's so many beautiful things, as you can tell, right? Is that if you continue to be loyal and operate from that, guess what'll start to show up? Exactly that. So where'd you go, Dolly?
Wow. I just want to share this before we bring up our first mentor. We talk about movies, which is interesting because like attracts like. If anyone knows Troy, he's into movies, and I witnessed every story that he shares with each of you. I was behind the scenes. Hello, that's what I manifested. I got to see. Are you listening to understand? It's really powerful because these stories, again, it's wisdom. Where I traveled to, I loved. we all do. If you're listening to this again live or on the recording, or I fell in love with movies like The Labyrinth. If you look behind me, everything you see, I've experienced. Like, I have a story for every statue that you see. If you come to my house, like I said, oh, I have all these pink things, and that sounds silly. I don't care what you think, because I love it. Sister's coming in a little while, and I even made it more pink to make it even more fun. Because that's what we're here to do, is to have fun. What good is it if you have all this money? What good is it if you on the Joneses, if you will? Oh, I look so good on the out. We looked good on the outside. Shit. I don't think Ingrid knew. I mean, except the complaining I would do about, but otherwise, we lived in a nice house. We had nice cars. Yeah, I shared with you vulnerability about really where we were behind the scenes and where I was actually. And really, it's just me, and that's where and to share with you like where I was, and when you tune into my energy and my story, you can feel relatability in your story, and being able to once again borrow our belief in sharing with you the speed in which that you can move. That's why the short story is shared with you differently on this webinar than it's ever been shared before.
Yeah.
It's moving in speed. Once again, you might not be able to understand. Just trust, however, though, because that's the intention that we said that we put in.
Yeah. Amazing. So let's pull up a mentor. Let's pull up Jane. What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, let's pull up Jane.
Rising.
Jane Rising. And is there something you'd like to say about Jane, Dolly, before we pull her up onto the screen?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having her go first. She's impressed upon my subconscious mind in the years that I've been on this journey, what it truly means to walk the walk. There are things that I got to see her do. And it wasn't financially, because actually this woman it's not about money for her at all. But that's not even what her goal is, because she actually has it all. She's manifested that, and that's a story of her own, manifesting. She just built her dream home financially, guys. Like, some would look and say, oh, she's made it. I mean, there's everything is paid off, and, all these things. However, though, she was seeking purpose, and we got to see behind the scenes what it took for her to be free. This is what drew me to Bob Proctor, and this is where I met Troy, was at Jedi training. That's what it was. You'll understand that from your level of awareness, and that's what I've gotten to see Jane do on such an intimate level, that all she wants to do is share it too, which is why she is a mentor. She doesn't have to do this. She actually could just, some would say, right? But instead, she knows, just like me, just like I did. She's a visionary. So I'm so honored, because I want you to feel her wisdom. It's going to be in her story. And remember, though, if you're judging, right, you're going to miss it. Drop into your heart and really hear it. There's something there for you. Yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
All right, so we're going to pull Jane up here and have fun listening to this. It's a wonderful, wonderful story. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Jane Rising, and I'd like to tell you how grateful I am to be here today and share my story with you. Not too long ago, I was feeling broken, not wanting to do anything, and not really knowing if I had a purpose or not in my life. I felt empty and alone, and I was searching for something and didn't really know what I was searching for. But I kept on getting online and searching, and I found Dolly online, and we connected. And I saw something that actually it was Ella Vitality, and they were saying that they could help me change my life around. So I thought, why not contact them and just see what they have to offer? And when I did that, I got a hold of Dolly and we started talking. And she eventually introduced me to Troy, and they said that they could help me out as long as I was willing to do the work. So I'm going to share a little bit of my story with you to just tell you basically what my life was like and how it is now. So when I started, as I said, I was just really lost and broken. I had been through some big trials in my life. I was just getting back on my feet from several surgeries. One which was a major surgery, and I thought I was healed enough to do things, and then I wound up just adding salt to my wounds and had to face a shoulder replacement after I had a major surgery. So I was feeling pretty down and was looking for something to pick me up. I was spending days in my house with not communicating with anyone and really just existing. So when I found Dolly, she gave me some hope. She inspired me from the minute I met her. She was so just so willing to help me and just was right there for me anytime I needed her. So on to I joined a program with them and started with their program Master Your Mind, and I stuck with that. And as I stuck with that, we talked about different things as far as me expanding and doing some other programs. So with that being said, I took several journeys with both Dolly and Troy, and I have experienced going to Mexico, Tulum, and also Temecula, California. And on these journeys, they were medicine journeys, and I really learned a lot about myself. I learned that I do have purpose and that I had so many things that I could be doing with my life where I was helping others, which is what I would really love to do. And that's when I got into their coaching program. And I just follow everything that they tell me to do. And when I do that, I get the results that I'm seeking. And it's really just amazing surrounding yourself with people that believe in you and want you to succeed. It just makes such a world of difference. Now I have purpose to live and to experience all different types of journeys in my life. I have manifested those trips that I spoke about, and just I met people that I didn't even think I would ever meet, complete strangers that I've made friends with. Along the way, I helped my husband get retired, and we built a new house, and we moved from Oregon to Pennsylvania. And there's just so much that really that I just can't even explain how I feel now. I feel like I have purpose. I feel like I just have every reason to live and to spread that word, that it doesn't matter where you are right now in life. What matters is what you do next. When you take that action and apply what you're learning and what I've learned through this community, I've just learned so much about applying what we learn and how it affects the outcome of your life. I would have never dreamed that I would ever have built a house on my own, helped by working with builders and telling them what I wanted, and being able to actually watch a house start from the foundation and everything that went on with it. I was just amazed, and I was like, how does this happen? That you write it down and you just apply principles to it. And when you do this, when you write your goals down and you apply the principles to the actual goal that you have written down, it will come to fruition. It may not be exactly how you want it to be, but I can tell you that it will come to you. And I have done that many times in my life. And I learned this from Troy and Dolly, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for everything that has come my way with this, and I have other things going on. I have a website, Rise with Jane, that's coming. It's in place, where I teach about oracle cards, and I would have never in a million years thought that I would come this far in such, it seems like it was just yesterday. And it's been maybe 2.5, 3 years. If I'm to be honest with you, I'm guessing about that, but in 2.5 to 3 years, I've traveled more than I ever thought I would. And it was easy as could be. I've manifested getting on a plane when we thought it was not even possible. We thought we were going to miss our flight, and it was a group of us, and somehow we got on that plane, and we made it. And not only did I get on the plane, but everyone with my group got to come along because they were with me. It was like it was just like everything parted and like left us come and go through. And it was amazing to me. I can't tell you like how many times I've watched things happen now where it's just been like a miracle, almost a miracle to me. And I can tell you that this program works, that Ella Vitality, that the principles that they teach, they work. And I am so grateful that I have the opportunity to work closely with Troy and Dolly and be able to be a mentor for Emergence. That has been something that has really, I've wanted to do that for a long time. And I held that vision for from the very get-go. When Dolly started helping me, I knew that I wanted to be a big part, and to work with them and to help people to learn that they can, whatever they want in life, they can do. And it's just a matter of, again, applying principles and just being loyal to yourself and learning that, you matter. And anything you want, you can have. I promise you. And like Troy and Dolly say, if you don't have, if you don't believe in yourself right now, know that we believe that you can do anything you want. Borrow our belief, and I can guarantee you that we will be able to get you through it. And I've borrowed their belief many times and didn't know how I was going to go on a trip, how I was going to get it, how it would come out. But I just made that decision, and they taught me that. They said, you just have to decide. And once you make the decision and you put it into play, everything comes out. And it comes out the way you want it to. Once you put in your plan of action and you take action on exactly what you want and make that decision, you will get what you want. And I can't say that enough, but I really truly believe in this and believe that you can do it just like I did it. I didn't think I could do it, but and when I didn't believe, I borrowed their belief, and that made the world a difference for me. I didn't know how I was going to go on our next trip, and I can tell you I didn't know how I was going to pay for my flight, but after I committed I said, yes, I'm going. I started looking at airlines and started seeing what I could do to get my airplane ticket. And I found out that I had all these reward points, and I didn't pay a thing for my ticket. So it was all done through my rewards, and I didn't have to worry about how I was going to pay. So I believe fully in everything that is taught here. And I believe that if you want something in life, this is the best program that you could possibly get involved with. They teach it, they're good, solid principles. And I just think that there's no other way to go, especially if you want things in life. So I would highly recommend that you consider working with Troy and Dolly if you get the chance to. It's been an honor for me, and I've really enjoyed it so far. And I'm going to continue on because I love what I do here.
Ugh. Mwah. Wow. It's been so incredible to see her transformation. It's been amazing. And again, are you noticing the theme here? And you're going to hear it again, time and time again. It's not about the knowledge, it's just about doing what you know. It's about applying, which is why we actually make that the first thing that we talk about when it comes to helping people to deliver change. Ah, Jane's amazing.
That was really beautiful. For those of us that have been on that journey with her, I was watching you all react and respond. And then I know that everyone else could feel it too. Again, on recording. I mean, I watched Bob Proctor's recording, and his recording was from 1970 when it
Yeah.
reached me in the year of 2017, meaning you don't know what an impact you're truly making, a legacy. Feeling Jane's energy was so beautiful because she has this fantasy, that there's a power that flows to and through her that wants to express and expand. And that's what we were feeling when she said, I wanted to go and I wanted to, for me, it was spread my wings. And this way appeared for her in the way that she desired it to be. There's this like feeling of freedom. Because once again, people would look at her and say, what do you mean you're having trouble going? That's bullshit. Your life is not like mine. Your life looks like this. That shouldn't be a problem for you. Not realizing it, these are programs and paradigms, and things are not as they seem. They also are as you are.
Mhm.
So these breakthroughs that Jane is having, once again, is about her remembering who she is. Bob's quote to me that I have, if you go back and look at my first video, I quote it, and I'm not good at it, and I still can't do it. Bob does it better, where if I want to be free, I have to be me.
Mhm.
Right. And it's so powerful because the ending of that is, so I better know who me is.
Mhm.
And that's what this truly is all about. Because you see, when I told you all about challenges that you will face, when you are leading, you are actually serving and inspiring those that you love. This is actually how you truly help the ones you do, because you can't control anyone. And so in sharing with you, it's how in which you think. So these stories are to share with you moments of how I think, where people give up because of this. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm not smart enough. The time is over for me. Right? I'm not rich enough. I don't have a degree. I mean, all those things. I'm programmed to have South Korea programming 10 years from the age of 2 to 12. Status. You better have a degree. Right? You better be really good in school. Oh, nope, opposite. So I imagine the programming, that the deeply rooted programming that needed to be reinstalled. I wanted to move in speed, and that would be connecting to other people's story. So I just wanted to encourage everyone again, um, to really tune in to the stories that you're hearing now, and for our mentors to also know that this story will move on as it did for Bob. His story from 1970s or 80s reached me in 2017, and look at the chain reaction it has made for me and my family, and it's been worth it.
Yeah.
So
That's really great that you talked about that. And another thing too, and this is tied to exactly what you shared, was throughout everything that Jane shared was a willingness to step into the discomfort. In other words, to move into something that didn't feel normal. And this is a really big key component that we really, really drive to help people to understand. And that is, that what's normal to you is something that comes from what's logical to you. And that, in terms of what's logical to you, is the enemy of your progress, is the enemy of you delivering that transformation. But see, most people, when they hear that, they don't quite connect to the idea that that normalcy or that thinking, which is rooted in what's logical, is something that is familiar, which means that when you maybe are inspired to take a different action, you say, okay, I want to do that. See, that causes discomfort, not because you don't want it, not because you don't want it bad enough. It's just because your subconscious mind is now dealing with two different concepts of yourself. One that's right here, right now, with regards to where you are and how you're thinking, and this new version. With that being said, it's been loyal, but not loyal to you. It's been loyal to what you have made important, either knowingly or unknowingly. Now, with that, we again share with you the importance of recognizing that so that you do have this maneuverability to go into that change, which then leads to the transformation. Isn't that what you're after? You're after transformation. Well, again, think about this line: be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. See, that takes a willingness to let go of what's been normal, what's been familiar. Faith in familiar sets the trap. That's something that's beautifully stated by Price Pritchett. And then to be courageous. Now, again, there's a lot of you right now. You've written down what you would love for your life. We had you write that down. There's things that you would love to act on, but now the question is okay, are you going to be courageous enough to step into that discomfort zone? Because that's where your treasure is. It's not with where you are right now. And that's what's been beautiful to see about Jane and the changes that she delivered because of that willingness to basically do the work, apply. She said that many, many times.
Pivot.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Who shall we bring up next? I think, you know what? Let's bring up Tom and Zan introduced us here with regards to this, and now we'd like to bring them aboard here to talk a little bit more about how this affected their lives and the changes that they have. Does that sound like a good idea? I think it sounds Let's do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull you up
We've
here.
been
All
talking
right.
about them a lot, and so
All right.
I'm sure people are curious, who is Tom and Zan?
Yeah. All right. So we're
Guys,
gonna.
these are hidden gems. By the way, if Troy will tell you, I don't like to share sometimes the secrets. I'm like, do we have to tell them that?
Yeah,
So
you say that a lot.
I a
Okay, no,
lot.
we have to. I say that too. I say that too. We
Yeah,
both say
because,
that.
yeah, because it's like really, it truly is. These are gems. Our mentors are gems.
Yeah.
They're, I mean, really, please know that we do not, what you seek is seeking you.
Yeah.
So, Tom and Zan,
All right, let's pull them up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
our queen and king.
Yes, the microphone.
Oh, thank you so much. And I just want to say how much I have seen Jane change because I was on a lot of those trips that she was on as well. And I've seen her walking through, the river of change. And I've seen it happen for her. And she gives us strength to move forward. I know that I said earlier that I have studied with some of the greats. I've done fire walks with Tony Robbins and
Me too.
jumped off of telephone poles and into fresh or the sea rivers coming in at midnight. And I've done some pretty wild and crazy things. And, as I was sitting here listening to Jane, I was thinking, I it takes a lot to walk across fire. And Troy and Dolly know because they've done that too. But it takes a lot to do that. And I would like to say that I didn't take what I learned from that or the principles that Tony taught about that and bring it into my life and into my coaching life. I didn't do that. I didn't apply it. And for me, what has been so amazing and so beautiful was being able to see. I saw Troy when he was reading Ramey's book, and I knew that that I really wanted to meet him, that he was somebody that I wanted to know and to meet. And when this event was planned at Ramey's house, this billionaire's house, and Tom and I went, and Troy was the first person that I met, and I was so excited about it. And I knew that he was doing this morning study, and I kept saying, you know what, one of these days I want to do that. One of these days I want to do that. And I even said to him, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And we didn't do it right away. But not long after that, we started at 9 o'clock every morning showing up for Troy's book study. And it has been the best thing that has happened to us.
Yeah, that was Master Your Mind.
It was, yes, it's magical.
And it's still ongoing.
And everything that Dolly and Troy bring to the experience when we're all together, the things that they bring and offer to us have been phenomenal. And I'm going to say I've been a coach for a long time, and this platform, this program, Emergence, is by far the best thing that I feel like I have ever done. The training, and if I don't know how to apply it, they will definitely help us to apply it. And to be able to walk alongside of these two amazing, amazing human beings is a joyful, joyful, joyful experience. We love them both so much. They have enriched our lives in such an amazing way. We are so honored to be a part of this program and to meet the other mentors that are a part of this group as well. It is so wonderful to feel like that we have found our tribe, and we say this often, we have found our people, we have found our tribe. And I know that a lot of times, a lot of people walk around going, man, if I could just find like-minded people and to live in their breathing space. This is what we've done here. This is what we've found here. And we're so grateful. We're so grateful. Oh my goodness, we're so grateful. Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay. Mike has been transferred. So for me, a little background on me. I was an only child, and I was raised by a very loving and enabling mother. She's very loving, very kind to me, very, very strict. And my father was an alcoholic. So I didn't get much training about how to be a man. And so I kind of grew up. But I was always looking for sound advice. And what I found was the first sound advice I found was Proverbs. And I read that so extensively that I can quote that chapter and verse pretty much because I use it a lot. And growing up, you know, if you're an only child, there's nobody to protect you. I mean, it's you. So I was always looking for a tribe. I was always looking for like-minded people. And when I was growing up, I was kind of unique because I made all my own toys, and I had all my own fantasies, had all my own forts, and you know, hunted by myself. So I was a loner. That's what I was. But I was always looking for a tribe. but I was very particular in what I was looking for. I was looking for knowledge, looking for wisdom, and looking for somebody that had that same thirst for knowledge and wisdom. And I found that here in Elevitality. It's been a long search. I'm 78, but I found it, which means I didn't give up. I was diligent, I was perseverant, and dedicated, and relentless. I was going to find it, and I found it. And what I also found is that the foundation that Troy and Dolly provide is on the shoulders of giants. It's not just their opinion. It is proven principles over decades, over centuries, and application is, once you find the principles, then it's a matter of disciplining yourself to apply the principles. And they work. They work. And Troy and Dolly are the example of what they say. The key I was looking for in anyone that I accept their influence or what they tell me is authenticity. And it's not do as I say, don't do as I do. They do as they say. And that's what I was looking for. And I've gone through a lot of courses, just like Zan has. Gone to Tony Robbins, I've gone to Ernie Bouchard, I've gone to Dean Graciosi. You know, I can name a number of them. I don't know them all now because I've got them all on the shelf, all the courses, but I didn't apply it. You know, I'd start it, but then I'd drop off the wagon, you know, and then eventually the wagon went on and I lost sight of the wagon. So I never got back to the course. But this is principles that you can live your life by, and the application of those is a lifestyle. That's what this has done for me. And I am so grateful and honored that Troy and Dolly saw in me that I could be a mentor. I am so grateful. Thank you so much.
Mm.
You want to say more?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I wanted to also say that throughout all of the programs that I went through, I was searching and looking for what was standing in my way. What is standing in my way? Here I am. I've done all of these things in my life. I've been an amazing hairdresser, and I've trained and taught others and coached many others, and and I kept trying to figure out what is it that's standing in my way. I mean, and that was even a question in a Tony Robbins event, and I didn't get the answer. And what has been so beautiful about working with Dolly and Troy and through this program, Emergence, is that one of the things that Troy says is, say this, there is nothing wrong with you. And I found out there's nothing wrong with me. And the question that I kept asking was, the answer was inside me all along. And they both have mentored me and supported me and helped me to discover this. And through this emergence and this mentoring program, I have discovered it is within me.
And it can help everyone that
Yes.
is on this event.
Yes, absolutely.
Bar none.
Yes,
Bar none.
absolutely. Thank you.
Is that it? And with that, we're all out.
Oh my,
Breathe
it's been
that
so
in.
beautiful watching you grow.
Oh, they're so humble too.
Mm.
We know your journey so intimately because we get to be behind the scenes of this. The celebrity hairstylist, yeah, studio you all ran for all these beautiful souls that you've served in such a beautiful way. I say this for fun, and people will understand it from their level of awareness. You know, Tom, your wisdom and your secret society, this is just for fun. You know, these are fun rabbit holes to go through. I wanted to meet someone maybe and, had a lot of wisdom, and he does. And that's why too, you
Thank
know,
you.
yes. And holding symbols that you can translate with just transmission of your energy because of both of your willingness to go through the challenges that you have and then still come together in your union.
There's one thing additional here that I have always held very, very close to my heart. There are some things I know something about, and there's a hell of a lot of things I don't know anything about.
So humble.
So I have become an intrepid explorer.
Oh yeah.
And we've got to go there with you. We are grateful.
Mm. Wow. Thank you, Zan and
Thank
Tom.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing the work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it makes it all worth it. And that is something that can't be bought. Thank you.
It's true.
You know, as we go through this, again, it's really simple. It's just about changing what's in your heart. You know, there's an illustration, a picture. It's one of my favorite pictures to look at. And it's this one, Dolly. You might know this one right here. This picture here. It's like you gotta shift what's in your heart. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As a woman thinketh in her heart, so is she. As you thinketh, based from what you believe to be true and the habit you have, because that's what's in your heart. That's what's in you subconsciously. So are you. So the results of your life. And that alone, as far as something that if you lead to understanding it, will change everything in your life because it literally is an inside job. And I'll go back to what we talked about from Robert Collier. You know, if you want, big differences in your outer world, like riches, power, success, he says the secret of all power, all riches, all success is in first thinking powerful thoughts, successful thoughts, thoughts of wealth and supply. We must build them in our own mind first. See, that's what's got to be embedded within you subconsciously. And when you think of this, also, this is what's in the way. It's not you. It's not what you believe, it's not the habits, because all of this is something that's been planted inside of you. And that's what's running in you subconsciously, 24 hours, 7 days a week. And here's another kicker about this too. The overwhelming majority of this, it's not even yours. It's something that you've adopted, something that you've claimed ownership of, something that you've accepted either knowingly or unknowingly. Think about, like, for instance, what you may say about yourself, about that, who you are. Most people answer with characteristics of themselves. They say, "Oh, I'm shy." But are you really shy? Or is it that you believe that other people's opinions are more important than yours? Or is it that you have a habit of thinking that way? See, that's not you, that's a pattern in you, which actually connects to the belief. Now, again, the most important part with regards to this is understanding that this, whatever this is in you, which is called your paradigm. What's a paradigm? It's a mental program running in you 24 hours, 7 days a week. And it has almost exclusive control over your habitual behavior, and almost all your behavior is habitual. It's a multitude of habits, all of which has been planted there. So with this, the thing that you've got to get and understand is that it was planted there, and what's been planted there can be removed, it can be replaced, which means it's not you. Now let's just sit in that for just a moment, because this has everything to do with you accomplishing what you've written down on your goal card, if you've written down a goal card or even had a vision board. By the way, with regards to those beautiful things, which are valuable and are important, we don't manifest what we put on a vision board. We don't even manifest what we write on a goal card. We don't even manifest affirmations. What we manifest is how we feel about them. Not whether we intellectually believe we can do it. No, remember, there's two different kinds of belief. There's intellectual belief and there's emotional belief. No, it's whether or not we emotionally believe it. And the way you will tell whether or not you truly believe and whether or not you have the habits there is simply by looking at your results. See, your results always tell the truth about what this is. Type that in the comments. My results always tell the truth. They always tell the truth. See, you got to look at your results as feedback. Feedback for what? Feedback for what's happening here. And if you don't like that, change what's here, and that will change. You can look at it this way. Your outer world, the results of your life, whatever they may be, is a reflection of what's happening in your inner world. Guess what's happening in your inner world? This. And what does that reveal? If you can change this, it means it's not you. It just means it's something that you've agreed to, something that you've consented to. And that's important. You know, everything that we have here at Ella Vitality, through our experiences, through what we've studied, through what we've expanded on, is all about helping you to change this so that it's in harmony with what you would love. Because if you don't change this, you will not get a different result. And that's really, really important to get. And I hope that you grab onto that, because again, this is, to me, is one of my favorite images, because it gives you a beautiful representation of what you're dealing with and what's in the way. Remember, you are not stopping you. You are not your own worst enemy. You don't have to worry about getting out of your own way. And for sure, you are not self-sabotaging. What's happening is that your subconscious mind is enforcing a program inside of you that's not in harmony with how you would love things to be. And that has nothing to do with you. It has to do with what's been planted in you. I love this picture. It's amazing and it's incredible. This is why we place at the beginning of what we've put together the golden rule. And what's the golden rule? Application, baby. You got to apply. Application. So let's bring up someone else, another one of our amazing mentors who has stepped into courage, to be courageous, and made a shift in their life. And I think it should be Therese Roeder. What do you think?
She knew it was her.
Hi, Therese.
How are you?
Oh my gosh, amazing. It's so awesome to see you. And it's been amazing to see the shifts that's been happening inside of you. For those of you who don't know, Therese has a unique way to lead things to happen. There was a beautiful thing that happened when we were on our retreat in Tulum, and one of the things that we had planned to happen, of which didn't quite work out, right, because the schedule didn't work out accordingly to deliver that, and it was to go to this beautiful lagoon. And Therese, you were so connected to the idea. Everybody wanted to go, but you had there was something else going on, of which everybody felt. And what was so amazing, Therese, was how, even though there was like disappointment with regards to it, there was still this lovingness in you. And it was like it was a connection of, oh, okay, whatever. And once you shared that, it changed something in me, and I'm going, oh my God, this is crazy. This is nuts. And then what ended up happening?
Went to the lagoon.
We ended up going to the lagoon, and it all worked out on the last day. And it was perfect, wasn't it? It was so perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before you begin, I just want to tell you how grateful I am. When I look at you, I remember so much of the early chapters of my life that you were there for, and what a reflection you have been in being on this journey now with me today. And how I can see now that what we read about other people's stories, inspiration of movies, songs, they're written because of stories like these. They're real, they're true, they're raw.
Yeah.
I love you. Thank you for,
Thank you.
you broke a lot of paradigms. Other mentors are going to mention what you did for them. You'll see when you saw that vision for them.
So we're going to give you the stage, Therese.
Okay. Dolly did mention I was with her in the early days. I'm fortunate enough to live in the same city as Dolly. And so I met Dolly when she was on first in her journey, met her networking. And she taught me a lot. And I was able to switch careers, and I went into another field where I had some success. And I lost touch with Dolly for a little while, and I was happy in my career for a while. But after a while, a job, um, I just wanted more, and I knew there was more out there. And I got to a point where I knew I had to leave that job. That job was just holding me down, and I wasn't happy anymore. And I just wanted to have a chance to pursue something else. I didn't know just what I wanted to pursue, but this longing within me was to do something else. And it's just amazing how the universe works. After I'd left my job and was trying to figure out what to do, Dolly just happened to reach out to me. I was like, wow, what timing! Cool. And so I got reconnected with Dolly and met Troy. And I am just so happy to be with Master Your Mind. And now I'm a mentor. And I have learned so much over the pretty much the last year, going on a year anyway. I've changed a lot. I've reached into who I am. And I love how Dolly will say, remember who you are. And just relearning who I am. Because over the years, working in a job, working in a cubicle, and I was walled in with that cubicle. And I feel like a butterfly. I've come out of my shell or out of the cocoon. And I know now there's so many possibilities. There's no reason for us to be stuck in a job. There's so many opportunities. And that's what I want to reach out to people as a mindset coach. I am determined to bring, or as Troy says, shine the light and help people out of the darkness of feeling stuck, because I got to the point where I felt stuck. I knew if I just simply left the job and found another job, eventually it would be the same. They're all, in my experience, after a while, jobs are just confining and living paycheck to paycheck. You can't really make your dreams come true in a job. So I am so excited that now I have an online business. I will be mentoring and shining the light, teaching people that they don't have to stay stuck, and we rise together. And just so excited about that. So excited to travel, because here, and I've worked a job many, many years, but I look at how I really haven't been anywhere hardly. anytime I got my 2 weeks off, um, I went and saw family, because what else do you do on your limited 2 weeks vacation every year? So I'm just so excited to travel and see places and things, and also visit family when there's a family event and not having to say, I can't go because I'm stuck in my job. Um, so there's just so many opportunities now, and I'm just so excited for the online business now, being able to travel and automate the business and have an income even when I'm on vacation. Thank you. Thank you to Dolly and Troy for giving me the opportunity to share this with others and be a coach and help others to get to be not stuck. Thank you.
Wow.
Mm.
You know, Therese, you just shook me in a beautiful way. I mean, you did it already in Tulum. You did it here. You just painted this picture beautifully. And what a lot of you out there don't know is that we've seen it start to take form and take shape. Remember how I was talking about how your results always tell the truth? And then as you were describing all of this, I was going, oh, that's so good. And it's very clear. I mean, look at all this stuff that's taking shape. It's just like what Neville Goddard says, you know, if you are observant, you will see outer reality taking shape upon the model of your imagination. And think about that. I was like going, man, I've got goosebumpies here because you're saying, wait a minute, my job, my 2 weeks, why am I going to accept it? That's not what you said, but that's what I heard, right? And now you painted this picture. And it's very, 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 do I need to say very like 100 times 100, very clear that you are emotionally involved with that idea because it is literally taking place right before you. And to me, that's again, for me personally, thank you so much. Because that means a lot and it's great to see. Very, very cool.
Have you ever been to a performance where that was this, yeah, like,
Isn't it interesting how it's just changing how you think?
Yes. Yes.
Wait a minute. I just have to change how I think. What?
Yes.
It can't be that simple. No, wait, it's got to be something else. There we go. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything Therese said she wanted to experience, I've
Yeah.
gotten to be with her and also behind the scenes
Mhm.
to watch it happen and unfold. You said, I want to travel and be out of country and doing and working around the world and traveling more than I ever have. And there it was, we were doing it together.
Mhm. Yeah.
And just watching you soar, once again, yeah, validation. And for those of you that are tuning in to understand,
Mhm.
if you let go of control, like you can move in that speed too.
So, Therese, you know that feeling that I was talking about about the lagoon with what happened, right? You just did it right now. You just did the same thing. I'm going, that's pretty great. Yeah, really good. But again, again, this is where it comes to. You can have the information, but if you don't what?
You got to apply it.
You can't
Yeah.
apply it.
Yeah.
Was that interesting for you too? How you had the knowledge? It wasn't even about what you knew. It's about you doing what you knew.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really great. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Therese.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Oh my
Thank you.
goodness.
That's awesome.
And you know what else we're going to bring in? And we'll say this at the end of this as well. Every one of our beautiful mentors are here are all amazingly qualified and powerful in their own way. They have their own beautiful personalities. With that being said, every one of them, all of you are outstanding, and is definitely someone that I would personally trust for guidance for everything that we're talking about, which is very, very important. And I'm saying that straight from my heart. And this goes for any of you who've been maybe invited by any one of these beautiful mentors. You're in the right hands when it comes to this. It's really, really good. Wow. So interesting. It's always so simple. So, who shall we bring up now? Here's another one of our mentors that has actually delivered a lot of really great change. Let's pull up Tereska. All right. Hi, Tereska.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Look at you.
I'm
That's an awesome
still
hat.
at work.
I
Well,
love it.
I live in New Orleans and we have a Mardi Gras carnival. Then, of course, it's a lot of parade and it's a Mardi Gras season. Then it's very busy. Then my outfit is for that occasion.
Oh my gosh, look at
My
are all those rhinestones on the top of your hat? That's pretty.
Yes,
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
shiny, just
Wow.
like my. My name is Tereska Jaranowski.
Okay.
I
We're
am
gonna
from Poland. And my story began long time ago. I came from Poland in 1902 and I already started my little job and business. I love my job. I love my crazy busy life. But inside of that, I feel I needed something more. Then, of course, 6.5 years ago, I was watching and on TV and I hear Bob Proctor first time. And when I hear him, it just inspired me. I wanted more of this man. I wanted more his information. I wanted more. It took me 2.5 years to hopefully, but I went to the street. That's what I met Dali. And I have no idea that would be Buck Proctor, everybody there, and I'm going join. And yes, I enjoy, and I did for the TIR. It was beautiful, but I didn't apply. I was listening, and I was very inspired about everything, the rules. And this is what I am right now with Dali and Troy and amazing people together to grow, to find my purpose. This is like Tom says, Tommy, you say, I looking for knowledge, wisdom, and inspiration and trust. And so me. And I know this program not only give us that, but awaken something and help to grow and help to understand who we are. Even it's not easy. I'm not saying I would love to be a little bit, understand more, but I know I can grow thanks to all of you and thanks to the knowledge and application. I am delighted to step on a different level, higher level, and just enjoy. And I always believe it. I am who I am because not only I was growing by myself, but I help a lot of young girls to study, to be hairdresser. And because I'm hairdresser, I do hair. And thanks to I teach them, I learn more and I grow with them. Today is 24 years when I have my own business, but I'm actually in a salon still and helping young girls to grow, touch a lot of people who come to me for 30 years, even more. And how lucky I am. And they see the difference in me. They see the grow in me. I see too. I do. And I very excited. I'm looking for the words. Of course, if you speak Polish, I can speak Polish. It would be easier, but Then thank you for opportunity to grow, to find my purpose, to find who I really am, and to understand on different level. I know I'm very busy. Even that, I am dying to have more. I wish the day would be a little bit more than 24 hours. I can work 12 a day, but they steal from us. It's only 24. 8 hours to sleep, 8 hours to work, 8 hours to, and I have to use that. But if I have a more time, I definitely would be from in the morning to nighttime, study and apply and grow. That's probably is going to happen because it's inside of me. And I know with these beautiful mentors and beautiful people who can help me to grow and discover who I am more, things going to happen. Thank you so much for everything. And very, very, my heart is with you.
Mm. I'm going to say one thing, Treska. You're not
Yes.
dying to have more, you're living to have more.
Oh, I'm living. Well, definitely.
Yeah, you
Oh, I'm
inspire me,
dying, not
Tereska.
living. Because dying, living. Yes, you are correct. You see, we learn all the time.
Mhm. You know, there's something that you share frequently that you've been working on for you, which has been amazing to see unfold. And that is that you have more than enough time to do what's important to you that you value. And
Well,
yeah. And
well,
so I remember you talking about that before, thinking that that wasn't possible. And it's
I
amazing to
still
see that it's
think
happening right now.
I still to go and at Christmas time and a lot of things, but I think it's impossible. But when you want it, when you put yourself and you just believe yourself, and this happened. I can't believe it. I took a few days off on December. Never happened in 30 years. I break. It has happened. It's things happen. Everything what I manifest so far, it was happen. And even I manifest to my sisters comes visit me and see where I live because I'm from Poland. Then I wanted they see it's happened, and I wanted more. I know it's something more there. Then let's go and discover. I live to discover more.
Mm, that's so beautiful. Yeah, it's awesome, these changes that are happening inside of you. And we are definitely grateful for your experience and so happy about your decision to actually go beyond what's been feeling normal, which is really, really great. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've done a lot of work. A lot of
Thank you.
peace.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Isn't it beautiful to see how everyone has to do their own work and they all deal with their own things, but it still comes down to the same freaking principles. It still comes down to the same things, just adjusting those beliefs, those habits, which is the paradigm. And that's it, my friends, when it comes down to everything. And you're going to hear us say this again and again and again and again. It's just about changing that. And that's what we do. We help people to deliver that change first by helping them to understanding it, by giving them step-by-step ways to gain more understanding. And what's beautiful is when you feel that structure and you engage with it, that's when you start to see, oh my gosh, yeah, it was easy and it was amazing. And that's pretty freaking great. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tereska. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness. So I think here we're doing pretty good here with regards to this. What I would like to do is next, let's bring up John and Jody. And then I want to go, I think it'd be good to go to Ingra right after that. So what do you think? Sound good?
That sounds good. Are you
All right,
ready?
so, why don't you go ahead and say something a little bit about John and Jody while I get them prepped real quick.
Absolutely. And also too, I want to transition in sharing about Tereska once again, just that joy that she feels, because we are going to face those challenges. And the more in remembering who we are, we start to discover even too, in remembering to be present and to really enjoy every moment, to be in alignment. And once again, to really slow. It's not about the speed. I mean, yes, there's the speed that you all understand, and me too, and that, and saying, okay, there's like I've got to earn the money, like I've got this, I've got a lot of things I need to do, I've got to, I have all these responsibilities, I don't know if I'm going to find the time. There's that understanding of that time, but also being able to respond. In other words, there's a lot of chaos happening, but being able to focus on the goal instead. Remembering once again to be in alignment, remembering who you are, that you will reach your goal, right? Like, and by the way, you will be triggered and activated as you are transcending, because remember the intention that we put forth. So this test is happening to all of us, if that makes sense to each of you. So this is where, again, the summoning of these stories are coming through. We are not sharing with you these stories to go, look how awesome we are. No, it's about impressing to you upon your subconscious mind that through principle, we didn't do this for anyone. We didn't ask anyone to say these things. This is all authentic. This is coming through them based on their personal experience. People would look at Tresca and once again go, you have it all. This woman has been manifesting since the beginning of time, because she has. She hasn't told her entire story, because she came from Poland. She's running, a very, very lucrative, very wealthy company in New Orleans. She's got a ton of people working for her. She has house cleaners. I mean, all of it. Like, she can have whatever she wants when, in once again, perspective. But when it was about, and this is why we don't compare where each of us are at. Things are not as they seem. Remember, they are as you are, as you are. And we've already shared with you, we're impressing upon you. We're going to leave you with an impression of increase. We're going to impress that. That's our intention today. We're going to give you everything we got, hide nothing. Even if, oh, are you sure you want to give that away? My sister would say that, like, Dolly, what do? I go, give it all away. That's what Bob would say. Right. And then it's like, well, wait, do we do that? Yeah. This is why I say, like, drop into your heart. Tereska, thank you for the work you do. It's been an honor to be on the journey with you in the way that I have. John and Jody, who we're bringing up today, Tereska knows them also in the inner circle from years in the journey that we've been on. And again, to be witnesses, to testify to everything we share with you today, to even manifesting their reunion, playing certain characters in their movie, and I'm talking leading roles, because you are the director, the writer, the producer, and don't forget, you are the main character. Mm-hmm. And we see you for that main character. You don't need to be the puppet in the show that you've been running in paradigms anymore. And this is what we're here to remind you to do. And sometimes it's going to feel direct. It's going to feel sharp. And remember, it's not what you're thinking most of the time. It's how you're thinking about it instead. So if you come into this emergence with that energy of, I'm here to evolve, and I borrow the belief that everything they say, even though it might sound weird, might be true. That's what I did, like a kid, fantasize. John and Jody, that's what they did. Troy gave them an exercise. I believe John goes into a little bit, and they manifested union. And we've gotten to see their abundance, money, wealth. I mean, more money, again, earning more in a month than they have before, never imagining that they could, and being right there with them behind the scenes as there was all kinds of chaos happening. So this is John and Jody.
Yeah. And that's an important thing to emphasize, because you'll hear it with this in terms of what it used to be. And now it's dramatically different. And the best part is it happened in a very short period of time. So, all right. So let's go ahead and bring this up. And so here is John and Jody.
Hi, I'm Jody Ray Solomon, the Soul Amazing Coach.
My name is John Corvellini. I'm the owner and founder of Emergence Coaching. And together we own the Travel Life Coaching.
It's a really interesting story how the Travel Life Coaching came about. In 2023, I decided that I wanted to get a divorce after 30 years and got in a camper van and started traveling the United States, just me and the dog. And while I was traveling, I was just happened to be at a Tony Robbins event because I volunteer there quite often and ran into this guy here who just happened to be there too. And he asked me out, and I was like, next time I'm in town. And of course, that led to him flying out to wherever I was traveling and staying with me for a week at a time. We decided we really liked each other. And he said to me, you know, being around you, it changes you because you are like the full immersion coach. And that is how Travel Life Coaching Adventures were born.
That's absolutely right. And what what Jody lovingly left out is that she moved into my apartment for 3 weeks before we started traveling together, which was also a lot of fun. But yeah, when after that first trip together, uh, I truly was a different person. It was 24/7 full of coaching. It really. I told her, I said, you cannot get out of this van with you without having something different, not having changed in some way, and that lit the spark. What eventually became Travel Life Coaching Adventures, which is your company now.
So, because we were starting out in a tiny camper van and there was just two of us, we really had to figure out how do we move up into a bigger RV. And before we got um, connected with Dolly and Troy, there would have been no way for us to figure out how to do that. And I'm not going to lie, I was like really fascinated with Troy because he was one of the very few people that spoke like I did, that understood concepts around personal development at such a deep level. And then meeting Dolly and her playfulness and how she is always talking about don't break character, and me going, how do I do that? And knowing that I have lots of skills as a coach, bringing that together was still a little challenging until we started working directly with them in Isle of Vitality. And then it all started to make sense. Everything opened up for John and I when we started working with them because we learned principles that changed our entire mindset. Before we started working with them, I couldn't have figured out how do I come up with the money for a new RV. And not only did we do that, but John,
Well, yeah, I got a bug in me that I wanted to get one of those big Class A buses, and Jody was, no, we can't do it. We can't afford it. We just got this rig, and there was 1,000 reasons why. And okay, fine, but I'm going to learn whatever I want to learn. So I made it my business to get onto YouTube and watch everything that I could possibly learn about Class A rigs, the engines, the transmissions, the floor plan, all of it. And she finally realized, oh boy, John's serious. I got to get involved in this. And when she came on board with the idea of getting a Class A, which is what we have now, a big 45-foot rig, it was 1 month, literally a month, till we had signed the paperwork and we were in the rig, which was a beautiful thing. And I had the privilege of bringing Jody into Ella Vitality. Now, I had met Dolly 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, when she was a consultant with PGI, and she brought me into the Thinking into Results program. We met through a mutual friend. And then Dolly calls me out of the blue one day. She said, oh, I'm leaving PGI. I'm going to go over to this other thing, NHI, the Napoleon Hill Institute. Do you want to come? Yep, absolutely. I'm coming. I didn't know what it was. I didn't care because I was learning from Dolly and I wanted to keep learning from her. So I went to NHI. And then she hits me with, oh, I'm leaving NHI. I'm doing something else. You want to come? Yep. Okay, I'm coming. Because I was still learning. It was in NHI that I met Troy. And Troy, I have said this to his face many times and want to say it again. Bob Proctor used to say that most people learn to read at a seventh grade level. They finish the book, they pass the test, they never look at the book again. But when you read a book over and over and over to understand, you begin to really get the material. Troy taught me how to read to understand. Now I can't stop reading to understand, and I'm forever grateful to him because he elevated me. There's a reason the company is called Elevitality. He elevated me. And I am in a different place now than I was 3 years ago. I'm in a different place now than I was 1 year ago. And it's just been an incredible whirlwind to see how many things have changed in such a short period of time. Once we start applying the principles and understanding what we're doing, it happened so fast. Really, truly did. And we're still going. There's so much more to do, and I can't wait to get into it. Keep going.
You know, you talked about, John, how it was 1 month after I got on board. And that's kind of confusing to some people because you're like, okay, so you made a decision, you had a bunch of money, and you went and did it. And I want to clarify, I actually didn't have the money. We had no idea how are we going to come up with $500,000 to go buy a 45-foot Class A with a tag axle. I had no idea. And that's why I didn't want to go look at them. When John was like, oh, we got to go look at these, I knew I didn't want to go look because the minute I went and looked, I would be dissatisfied with what I had. And the moment I was dissatisfied, then I was going to have to either stay committed to patterns that didn't serve me and kept me stuck, or I was going to have to push through those and trust and believe that if it was for me, it would happen. And that's a hard thing to do when you sit there and go, I don't have the money for that.
Yeah, you know, I had the same problem. I didn't know where we were going to get the money from, but I also knew that what I had been doing in the past was not working. And I had to do something else. I had to try something else. And it took a little bit of faith. It took a lot of faith. I had to find out what faith was. But it also took believing in me. And that's something that I didn't do for years, like 50 years. I didn't believe in me. And I didn't push myself. But Dolly and Troy and Jody taught me how to believe in me. And well, I made a decision. Damn it, I was getting this rig. I wanted this, and I just put everything I had into it. I put my heart and my soul into it, and I learned about it. I educated myself, and I knew what I was talking about. And it's funny how we say in the personal development world we talk about, oh, the universe is going to do this, and source and infinite intelligence and all different names for God. Well, it actually is real. We're living proof of that. There are things bigger than me, bigger than Jody, bigger than all of us, happening for us right now. It seems like life is happening to you sometimes when everything hits the fan and your world is falling apart. But it's actually happening for you because it's a bigger gift in there. It's all the pain, all the stuff that you're going through. There's a gift in it. Bring you to that next best version of you. All you got to do is learn how to look for it. You got to learn how to find it. That's what we do here.
So, it's interesting because after I saw John really watching the videos, and I watched that for a month, and I saw he was just so committed to the idea of it. So I went ahead and I walked through the RVs with him. I allowed myself to be dissatisfied with where I was. But then you ask, well, how did you get the money? Well, that's where application comes in because, we go to a ton of self-help seminars, personal development here, personal development there. And how many of those seminars, the books go on the shelf? We do nothing with it. That was a great seminar, and we come home and we go back to our regular life, never to open that book again. But here we said we're not repeating the patterns. Now we are applying everything that we have learned with Dolly and Troy. And we literally applied the principles because we weren't going to get any traction. It's not a magic pill. In order for the universe to meet us where we want, we have to meet the universe halfway. And what that means is applying the idea of being so committed that not just do you want the thing, but you transform your language into, that thing is mine, because I don't want separation between me and the thing. So I don't want to say the word want. I want to be in the present tense. I already have it, it's already mine. And to apply that principle every day, even when your brain is going, I have no idea where the money is coming from, to say, thank you so much for showing up, Mr. Thought, but you're not necessary today. I've got this, and go back to the commitment that that is already mine. And it is just waiting for me to stay committed to it.
And you know it. And Jody's absolutely right. And the truth is, it is going to take a little bit of work on your part. You have to be committed to this. But it's not work like going to a day job. It's not a 9 to 5 and you're going to grind it again. This is about loving yourself. It's about trusting yourself. It's about doing all the things that you were afraid to do because the thoughts in your head say you're not good enough, you don't deserve it, you're never going to have this. Those kinds of actions, when you apply the negative, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, when you apply that over and over again, it becomes a habit. You repeat it. It becomes a habit over and over again. You just keep doing it and you get more of the same. But when you change the habit, when you change the words you're saying to yourself, and you start to believe it after a while. Because look, when you start doing this, you're like, yes, I can do this. And your brain is saying, who the hell are you kidding? You screwed everything else up in your life. What makes you think you can do this? But when you keep chugging away, you keep pushing away. And every time that negative thought comes into your head, you push it aside, you keep pushing through. And sooner or later, it starts to click. And that is where the money came from. Bob Proctor used to say this. He was talking once about to somebody who's curious about, well, where am I going to get the money from? And Bob said, well, wherever it is right now. And it was the dumbest thing in the world. I could not believe that he just said that. Now I get it. Wherever it is right now. And it's coming to us and it's coming to you right now. All we're asking you to do is to believe in you for a little while. Just one more day. Just one more day. Believe in you. Just one more day.
And once the application becomes a non-negotiable of every day, the thing that started to surprise me the most was how fast the universe put things in front of us to put the whole dream in motion. I mean, it was, I go walk through the rig. I decide that, yes, we're going to do this. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know when, but we're going to do it. I'm going to commit to these thoughts. I'm going to sit every day and imagine my life in the house, what it's going to feel like, and really just sit in that feeling of what that feels like, knowing that's already mine. And the more I applied that, all of a sudden I would get random information off of a Facebook ad, or somebody would post something that all led me to the fact that the Hershey largest RV show was going to be in Hershey, PA, literally starting 2 days after we were supposed to fly back from a retreat with Dolly and Troy. So all I did was change my tickets. And it's the universe just kept putting everything in front of me to the point where the house we wanted was there. We decided to go ahead and buy it, going, still don't quite know where the money's coming from. And a month later, the money magically showed up in things that would seem so coincidental, but weren't, because the universe kept prompting me to take this action and take that action. And they weren't coincidental. It was, I had decided this was what we were going to do. John and I were very clear about the idea, and the universe led us right there like a magnet, because that's what it does. It magnetizes our future, our desire, our big dream. It collapses time and space, and it allows us to experience it so much more quickly and so much more enjoyably.
And part of it is you're going to see things are going to happen for you that are going to be, where the hell did this come from? How did this happen? And it's going to be really, really weird. The RV that we used to have was in Portland, Oregon, when we were in Hershey, Pennsylvania. The rig that we're in right now, which we bought in Hershey, was actually physically located in Tampa. So we had to fly from Hershey to Portland, drive across the country to Tampa. Day after we bought a rig, Jody had to fly out of Orlando over to Anaheim. So I put her on a plane and I drove the rig by myself. I'd never driven a 45-foot rig across country. You can't make this stuff up. But it all happened in divine timing. It was absolutely perfect the way it worked. And when I rolled up to that hotel in California and picked her up from where she was staying, I was the happiest guy in the world because I drove this thing across country. I was so proud of myself. 45-foot rig is a big bus to drive this thing across country and by myself with the dog. And we had a blast. But you got to be open to things happening that you're going to be like, wait, what? What just happened? How does that make sense? You don't have to worry about the how. You just need to focus on what you truly want in your heart. Why do you want it? There's a lot of reasons why that are very superficial. Go deep. Go deep. Superficial one, that's not the reason. Go deeper. You get the what right, you get the why right. They'll make it happen for you. It works.
And I think about where I was in 2023, just deciding to exit a 30-year marriage. And, I had a few clients as a coach, but I was still building my business. I certainly didn't have enough clients to sustain me financially. If it wasn't for, alimony, I wasn't going to have anything. And it was really scary when you're going out into the world and you go, I've never supported myself by myself. I've always been supported by a man. And I've got to figure out financially what to do. And getting connected with Dolly and Troy to the point where not only was I understanding so much about personal development. And when I say I understand, I mean, like, I volunteer a lot in the Tony Robbins event space. So I have a wealth of knowledge. But meeting Dolly and Troy and realizing that I wasn't applying some of the knowledge that I had, and I didn't have quite the depth of understanding that I have now after working with Dolly and Troy. And so being this beautiful space to go from I don't know how to support myself by myself to I can do this, and this is freaking amazing, to oh, and I'm going to go have this relationship with this guy, and he's going to travel with me, doubling our expenses, and then we're going to go buy this giant RV that is $500,000. That was a big jump from the starting place to where I'm at now. But I won't say it was easy because it was a lot of internal work. It was a daily work. You have to do it every day. But I got to tell you, the results that I am experiencing now far outweigh anything I could have imagined. And I know that if this is where I'm at now and the things that I'm imagining they're on deck, it's going to be a stellar year, let alone a blow your mind kind of decade for me. So,
When I met Ollie, it was a mutual friend who had introduced us. And she said something to me that has stuck in my head ever since. And this is over 3 years already. She said, borrow my belief. What? What does that even mean? Borrow my belief. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe in anybody else. And she's believing in me for me? What do you mean borrow my belief? I had no idea what that meant. Now, I get it. I get it. She saw something in me that I did not see in myself. Troy saw something in me that I did not see in myself. Jody saw something in me that I did not see in myself. You know what? I started to see it in myself because maybe they're seeing something that I don't see. Maybe there's a better part of me out there that I'm just blind to. And I was, and I'm finding it. I found it. I have found it, the better part of me. And there's still more. There's still another better part. There's a next best version. And that's the gift. There's always another version. This work that we're talking about, work in quotes, it's simple. Not easy because it forces you to look at yourself. But it's worth it because you're worth it. Every person out there as this deep, dark place where they hide their shame and their fear and all that stuff. The other side of that is the you, God, source, universe, creating its own image. That's absolutely worthy of all those things. You are part of that. You are worthy. You've just been taught to believe that you haven't. One of the things we do here at Vitality is teach you how to get that faith in yourself back. You are worth. You got this. Nothing's stopping you except you. You got this.
You know, this emergence program, if it helped us, we know, we know that it can help you too, especially when you move from knowing how to do something here into embodying it in your body and then using it every day. We know that that works because our life has exponentially increased since working with Ella Vitality and Dolly and Troy. So if it's worked for us, I know it's going to work for you too. And John,
It worked so well for us that we became mentors in Emergence as well. We teach it now as well. And it's just, it has literally changed our life exponentially. And it can do the same thing for you too. All we're asking you to do, borrow our belief so you have your own. And we'll go from there.
thank you, Ella Vitality.
Ella Vitality. Thank you, Dolly and Troy. Thank you.
Wow. That's been amazing to watch. To see that unfold right before our eyes. And again, the thing that needs to be emphasized here is they've been in the personal development world for a long time, teaching this, trying to get their coaching business moving to where it's flowing in a big, beautiful way. And it all shifted just by helping them to implement what they already knew. I mean, that was the key component. As I listened to their story, I go, gosh, that's what was missing. That's what I wish was emphasized more than anything from the very beginning, because that was not what was emphasized, even though it might have been said, subtly, because it was more about study, 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 study. And again, you got to remember, I love Bob tremendously. Okay. This has nothing to do with regards to that, but the missing element was that it has to be more weighted with application. You can get so much out of studying one little piece and then making it your big, beautiful desire and determination to implement that in your life than you will with studying this book, and all this other information. You can get so much more accomplished in your life by literally applying as if your life depends on it. And by the way, it does. It does.
Yeah. And everything you say is true. We've been right there with them, watching their courage, their breakthroughs, their breakdowns, being behind. I look at even Tom and Zan, Ingra, Therese, Tereska, all the other mentors that we've even mentioned earlier now. We were right there to see that. It seemed as if it happened overnight. One moment you're in this dimension and boom, you're over here. How did I go from being broke to now having a $500,000 rig, and all these other things, in the way that it happened behind the scenes, we got to see the application and implementation of what it really took. Because once again, the challenges are really there. It's not going away for anyone. Again, no bypass. It's about, when you do recognize, right? Breathing through, remembering who you are, summoning those when you have to borrow the belief of others so that you can step and remember that you are in this other dimension and you get to have this incredible joy.
Yeah.
And yeah,
You
that
know,
was beautiful.
I really love both of them. Then where they were speaking, there's a different kind of love towards each one of them. But I want to talk specifically about John, because he is today completely different with regards to how he was showing up and behaving. there used to be a lot of heavy reactionary things that would happen, and now it's dramatically different where there's lots of responding.
Mhm.
And what's beautiful is you can feel the calmness in him, and every now and then it sneaks up, but then it sneaks up on me too. It sneaks up with everybody.
Mhm.
And by the way, when I call that out, it's not calling out any person or anything like that. It's calling out the paradigm. That's another big component. With that being said, it's been amazing to see John, because when I first met John, I love him to death, but I was going, whoa. And the dramatic shift in such a very short period of time, it happened, and it's all attributed to the willingness to apply what's being shared. And that to me is like, it's it, really.
And also too, I want to say, like, this goes for me and Troy. You go back and see us back before, it's like, whoa, who are you? Right? Like, there's this like, and this is why inspiration, you can't change others, right? People don't resist change, they resist being changed. And they are inspired by you. You show them light, you show them what's possible, because they look at you and go, how in the world did those are with Jody and John's success recently in their attraction to clients has been because of just that. They're attracted to their energy. They are attracted to who they've become. They've seen the contrast of who they were and who they are today. And that was more than, again, what money could buy. When I earned more than I earned in 1 year and 1 day, it wasn't because I was earning all of that. Actually, I was still broke. I could barely do the seminar that day. But I was pulling in, summoning other people's stories. But then I was also sharing the shifts within me, and people could feel that I was telling the truth. That's authenticity, which is, again, what we're doing today. And this is why it's going to move in speed through you.
Now, I want to bring up one more thing too before we bring up Ingra, Dolly's sister, which has been wonderful to see as far as her transformation is concerned. But I want to actually address this directly to you as you're watching this, those of you who are connected with this message, because it's very clear that you do want to deliver some big changes in your life. With that being said, it's important that you recognize that in most cases, especially when it comes to change, there are patterns in us that we keep with us. And remember, that's what's familiar, which doesn't lead to the big change that we want in our lives. And what I'll talk to you about that, and what I'm referencing, has to do with, for instance, like a lot of us, we've fallen into this habit of self-study, and you do have to self-study, and you do have to move the information around yourself. But with that being said, trying to figuring it out on your own is actually the slowest way to deliver change. It's good, it serves a purpose, but it's the slowest way. And see, Dolly and I, as we shared you our experience, and also as you've seen with regards to everyone here who has evolved quite beautifully, the quickest route is literally through guidance with someone who actually, has the right principles, but it shows up and reveals that. That's what I did when I decided to make a change. I wanted to work with a specific movie producer. I understood enough that I had to think like him in order to work with him. And that's where Bob Proctor came into play. And I said, you know what? I'm going to step into learning from someone who understands this much more than I do to help me to see it quicker. And through that, I was able to actually deliver that. And it happened like really, really fast. But that was because I was willing to step into that discomfort zone and not repeat the patterns which were actually leading me to grow. I was growing, but it was slow growth. I didn't want slow growth. I wanted rapid growth. I wanted that quantum leap that is referred to by Price Pritchett. I don't know if you've ever read that, by U Squared, because that's what can happen to you. You can actually skip levels. You don't have to go like this step, this step, this step. You can go like this and go whoosh, like that. But in order for you to do that, you have to change how you're thinking. And when you have, again, the right information where there's a lot of depth, and again, that's again what I'm really grateful for from Bob, where it's described and shared in a way where it's easy to digest and use, that's when you deliver your quantum leap. So our invitation for you is to, you know what, if it's calling out to you to make that quantum leap, yes, you will feel the fear. There will be that worry and doubt, which is causing the fear. But see, this is where you got to override it. There's a beautiful, wonderful little interview that I saw on Reels, and it was Tom Cruise. It was just like maybe about a minute, minute and a half. It's very short. And he's there standing on the red carpet, and this interviewer has the microphone. Oh, Mr. Cruise, can you tell us about why is it that you are able to do all of these things without any fear? And then microphone goes like this, and then Tom Cruise leans into the microphone. He says, "What are you talking about? I have fear. I just do it anyways." Think about it. He worries enough, but he just does it anyways. And what has it led to? It led to him being the #1 action star in the world. And of which, by the way, he would constantly relive that again and again and again. That's another whole other little area. But with that being said, for you, it's going to be the same thing. If you want uncommon results, and I'm certain that that's what you're seeking, then you have to start thinking uncommonly. Common sense leads to common results. You don't want that. You have to start thinking with uncommon thinking. You have to start going along the path which is not tied to what's familiar in you. Remember, faith in the familiar sets the trap. What's logical to you is the enemy of your progress. Type that in the comments. What's logical to me is the enemy of my progress. A lot of what we're saying with regards to leading you to these places, none of it on the surface, when you're thinking from how you're thinking, doesn't make any sense. You might be in a situation where it doesn't make sense for you to do that because of what's happening in your life. Well, I got news for you. You continue to think from that, you're going to deliver more of the same. So we're going to invite you to actually, you know what, consent to the idea we talked about in the very beginning. Be here in this call with the willingness to let go of what you believe to be true, of how things have been, and open your mind to new possibilities, to that which you think is impossible. Remember, everything is impossible until it's done. And there's lots of evidence around you of things that were thought of as impossible that are done, but they're not impossible. And that's what we're wanting you to connect with, which is what we're going to lead to now with inviting Ingra Sparkman onto the stage, because you've gone through some really, really amazing things. And Dolly, if you can get back here on the stage too as well, to talk a little bit about your sister and
Beautiful.
and how what you've maneuvered through with her as well. And before you move into this, Dolly, and before you start talking, it looks like you're smoking. That's an incense, huh?
Yes, it is. Where's your griffin?
Oh, my griffin's right here. Yeah, I
This,
still have an
okay,
incense for it.
what's,
Look at this.
I
Anubis.
want you to, okay, what you got to share. Yes.
Yeah. So,
Oh, it's beautiful.
oh, it's really, really cool. It's like, oh, I love griffins. I mean, look, I got lots of cool griffins. Griffins are amazing. Oh my God. Cool griffin here. Lots of griffins. I love griffins. Yeah, this was pretty cool. This was called in. It's amazing how it just, we were just talking about how it would be cool to have something like this, and then next thing you know is it shows up on the screen. Oh, look what's here. Bought it.
Yeah.
It's there.
You know, one of the coolest things that Bob taught about, I remember in our lessons of thinking into results, because there's incense too, because I always thought there was like certain rituals you had to do in order for like certain things to come true. And Troy, you remind us how beautifully it's like whatever you believe. And this is really powerful, because sometimes you could even believe that people can do voodoo on you, where they send bad energy. And it really is about what you believe. But one of the exercises that that Bob taught us was about burning. And he would say, just do it, right? And he did it in a suit, and he said it in a way that didn't seem so woo-woo at the time, because again, he was exactly the teacher that I needed him to be. And actually, that's what you saw and it's not a ritual, but instead it's something that has worked for me. And it's not a power that I put outside of me. However, instead it's the meaning that I give it when I do it, to dissipate that energy. Even too, like you might see, I'll put on perfume. I have like beautiful oils that I put around me. I've learned from other leaders about burning certain incense. I have incense burning in my home, which is why Troy probably assumed that that's what I was doing here today. And then you have those incense there. Even candles, being conscious about what kind of candles are being burned, around me, and in chemicals and certain things maybe I wouldn't have been so conscious of before, and then being reminded it's whatever you believe. Your teacher will appear right when the student is ready, and you might have heard the information over and over again. This is where Ingra, my sister, comes in, because she's seen me on this journey. She has heard me say certain things over and over again. We've studied certain things, and then you actually end up implementing and practicing certain things when you're called to do it. And there's a meaning that you give it because of how it makes you feel. This is key. When you guys go back and listen, I talked about a movie, Labyrinth, Alice in Wonderland. There's many, actually, and I mentioned a lot of them. And then being the main character of them. But these characters didn't just read or hear their mentors say, write down these things, negative beliefs is what Bob would say. And he would say, write it out, and then write the opposite. And then, and then take the side that you don't like and burn it. Don't ask me, and just do it. Because if you try to give me the spiritual meaning of it, I would have freaked out and been like, okay, this guy is in a cult and I'm not going to do this. And it would have probably stopped me from continuing. And so once again, our language, our experiences, we're going to hear exactly what we're meant to hear when we're ready to hear it. And this is where I feel my sister comes in too, because when I first started, I called her up, like I said, she was my Madonna, like she was like, just like so brave and courageous. My perception.
I was gonna say the rock star, not the virgin.
Oh my God, it was like so cool to see. And I wanted a connection with her too. Really, really so much so. But we also, there's the different mom, and we all have a story. And but when you have a deep desire and the seed has been planted, and then it does make its way when you're willing to do the work, as we have. And you got to see like weird things that, and then I called you up one day and I said, oh my God, I just found this guy named Bob. Have you heard of The Secret? And you were like, no shit. And it was like, I'm at the dimension of you that I was meant to meet. And here we are today. And our dad gets to have his dream come true.
I was going to say, it's really incredible. If you think about Bob Proctor was the connector. Like in that moment, suddenly, even though we were raised apart and even though we had, small visits, it was Bob Proctor, his name, that bonded us back together, which I just think is so crazy. I mean, you're my baby sister, so I'm gonna love you forever. I just mean, like, in that moment, I couldn't believe it, because at that time I had nobody to talk to about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm processing everything we've been through, especially recently. And this is where we would love for you to come on stage and share your journey. Because once again, when people look at you, they're going to say, what else does this woman, like you've got it all, right? Like you have this perfect life, and here you are today, remembering more of who you are so that your children can be led by you. It's beautiful.
Well, thank you. Well, so I think, Dolly, first of all, for the last few hours, I've been watching this and not even feeling like it was live. Like I'm just watching a movie. And I want to say first, how grateful I am to all of you guys. I mean, for taking the time to share your stories and to do what you do so that we can help others. Like what an incredible, incredible thing. We're going to lead people to happiness and to love, and it's available. That's the thing. Sometimes people forget this. What we have is available to everyone. Love and light. You are deserving of peace. You are deserving of freedom. You're deserving of happiness. the fundamental difference, Dolly, and it just dawned on me as we were talking, and I was watching this almost like I was watching a movie. The difference between you and I, yes, I was like Madonna when we were younger. I was so angry about things. So my way to cope with a lot of the things that that I dealt with as a young adult, especially one who had a sibling that they couldn't see, like, or a father that they loved but couldn't see. I repressed all of my feelings with anger. So I love that you think that I was cool. That makes me very happy because, in some ways I admit I was a little bit cool, but also, I was hurt, and I don't hurt anymore at all. Like, I can't even muster up the feeling of being angry about anything. The fundamental difference, and I want you guys to hear this, is when my sister got ready to do this, when in her heart of hearts, when she says that she was at rock bottom for her, and that's her story. She said she knew she knew what she needed to do was to burn all the ships. And here's the fundamental difference between my sister and I. I got so complacent and comfortable that the last thing in the world I would have done was set even one of those boats on fire. In fact, making sure that because it's the complacency that I had that allowed me to stay in a level of unhappiness and unawareness. And that's gone too. But that's the difference. You were willing to burn all the ships, and I wasn't even willing to hold the match in my hand. And that's all gone. I've done things I've never done before. And this is just in the last 6 months. I mean, I'm going to take a plane ride twice in 1 month. I'm 54? No, 53. I'm 53. I'm 53 years old. I've not done that in my entire life. I made a PowerPoint the other day because Troy said that's what I needed to do. And I obey my mentors just as you know what I'm saying? Would anticipate when I'm helping someone that they would, obey as well. I made a PowerPoint. This is somebody who 3 months ago was like, I'd never even really picked up a computer. All the writing I've ever done in my life has been done on Word. I now know how to do a PowerPoint. Now, is it as big as a 40-foot trailer? No. 45-foot trailer? No. But it's the availability of whatever dream that you are dreaming. So I encourage you all to dream as big as you can because it will come true. That's available to you. Because when you change the way you think, you change your world. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you, to serve you, to help you make the changes. But you gotta burn your boats. That was it. That's all I had.
That is pretty freaking cool.
That was profound the way you
Yeah.
shared that.
Isn't it interesting how it again comes down to beliefs and habits? And how if you're unaware of those beliefs and habits, bam, you just stay there. Things don't change. But if your mind is open and you're willing to reevaluate, what happens? Change happens. And oh my gosh, I'm really happy and excited that you're going to be there next week for training. And that is pretty freaking great.
Yeah.
You stepped into what was not logical.
Several times now.
But look at what pays off though, right? It's like, and this is what we want everyone to get is remember what's logical to you is the enemy of your progress. What's logical to you is rooted in what you understand, what you're aware of, what you're aware of only knows how to deliver more of the same. If you operate from that logic, you don't transform, you don't change. So you have to step into instead the logic of principle, which is a totally different thing, and not let your life be run by the precedent. And when you shift
The
that,
program. Oh my
yeah, the program, you gotta let go of the precedent. And this is how everyone will be able to deliver change, but it takes courage to act on that. And again, Ingra, massive kudos for the courage that you stepped into to go into that discomfort zone, to move through the fear and do it anyways.
Just do it anyway.
Have the fear, but do it anyways. You know, this is kind of fun and great. We can picture you like on the red carpet and someone says, Ikra, how is it that you're able to go through this without any fear? And then you can look in the camera and it'd be you. What are you talking about? I have fear. I just do it anyways.
Right? A lot
Yeah.
of fears that I didn't even know
Yeah.
existed. You know, but I knew that I was in some ways dying because I wasn't growing at all.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah. Congratulations.
So
And
good.
you are definitely going to help a lot of people. All of our beautiful mentors here, you're going to help a lot of people. Different people are going to be attracted to you because of the vibratory state you're in. And this applies to everyone. And here's the best part, there is no freaking competition. That's a great thing to understand too. Yeah. Pretty awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Ingra.
Thank you. Oh, wow.
Wow, we did pretty good here, Dolly. We went a little over time, but I think it was so worth it. And there's yeah, a lot of people stayed here with regards to this, and that means it's really important to you. So we want to say congratulations to you for that. What I'd like to do here, Dolly, is I'd like to just bring up something really quick, and then you bring it in for a landing. How's that sound? And this has to do with fear and helping people to understand a little bit about fear. Now, this won't take long, but it could be a beautiful little segment for you that can actually help you a little further. And we have talked about it some already, but it's a good idea to recap it. And the main reason why is because I'm certain that every one of you here right now is actually going into that place, and you might actually be feeling that right now as you're getting ready to step into going something a little bit further. But see, this is where you've got to say goodbye to that and not allow that to run your life. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up here real quick, and it's tied into the fear in your life. Now, one of the things that we had you write down was what you would love for your life, the result that you would love to deliver. And we've asked you to connect with it. We went through this meditation to reveal to you how you're in the meditation because you accepted it first. Now, with this goal that you're seeking, maybe it's to step into taking that next level or shifting your lifestyle or whatever it may be. Maybe it's stepping into what we have to offer for you to help you to make that change. And maybe you are feeling that fear inside. And by the way, the fear, remember, that's happening just because of worry and doubt. Okay. It's nothing more than feedback. But I want you to pay close attention to this. Whenever you think of making a dramatic change, anything out of the norm, and think about what's been normal to you. What's been normal to you is how you've been thinking, how you've been dealing with things, the status quo, your routine, your habits. So whenever you think of making a dramatic change, anything out of the norm, you are going to run headfirst into a wall of fear. And because in 99% of the cases, the person involved lacks the awareness of how the mind functions and why they are experiencing this fear, they retreat back and go back to their comfortable, monotonous state. Now let's sit in that for a moment, because our invitation to you is to step into learning something different. And I also want to emphasize something else with regards to the learning, because Dolly, you talked about how, when the student is ready, the teacher will show up. Yes, we do teach this, but the most important thing that you've got to understand with regards to a teacher is that a teacher can't teach you anything. If you're here thinking that I can teach you this, you're mistaken, because the only thing that we can do, Dolly and I, and even with regards to our mentors, is we can share with you information. Now, a really great teacher will be able to break it down so it's very easy to digest and to use. With that being said, you are the one that teaches you through the experience. So you're the real one that decides whether or not you're going to learn. So, anyways, why am I pointing this out? It's because we're pointing this out to you. Because right now there might be some fear inside of you where you're wanting to make that change, and we're going to help you to identify exactly why that's happening. And the only reason why that's happening, if you are feeling that fear, which is nothing more than the feedback, is just because there's worry and doubt that's happening inside of you. It's because where you are right now and how you're thinking doesn't match how you would love things to be. Well, guess what? Your subconscious mind is going to run the program that it's always been running, and it's going to say, you know what, wait a minute, this is how we've been doing things. You want to do this? Now, with that, if you say, yes, that's what we're going to do, your subconscious mind will then make a shift and do everything to prove that instead. But see, it's very important that you don't allow yourself not to move into the light. You got to, actually, let me rephrase that. You've got to allow yourself to move into the light. If this is happening and you're moving into fear, and the reason why I needed to correct that is because if this is happening, it's something that's happening because your subconscious mind is enforcing the program. It's not something that you're doing. It's not something that you're choosing. It's something that is being enforced, and you have to decide to override it. Now, with that, I want to go into this thing about Bob Riggs. And again, it's very, very simple, but it's one of the most amazing things that I've ever read that helped me to understand the delivery of change, and it's called the comfort zone. Now, many of us have established a comfort zone in our lives. We're just coasting along, taking the path of least resistance and just getting by. This is a very common and understandable attitude. We've all worked hard to get where we are, and it may seem a good place. You've worked really hard to get to where you are, and it might seem like a really good place. There's many successful people who've worked hard to get to where they are, and they say this, I want to keep things just as they are. But see, those people who say that, they don't understand the law of the perpetual transmutation of energy. They don't understand that nothing ever stays the same. So when you say you want to keep things just as they are, you're actually working against the law. And the law states that everything is always changing. In terms of that change, it's either creating or disintegrating. But when you go further with regards to what he says here, the problem with this, in terms of keeping things as they are, where they might feel good, is that once we stop reaching, stretching, seeking, and risking, we actually stop growing. The comfort zone frame of mind, the state of a comfort zone mindset, is settling for what you are today. Now, is that what you really want? You want to settle for what you are today? No, you don't. You wouldn't be here if that was the case. Now, that may be fine today, but without continued growth, without what? Without reaching, stretching, seeking, risking, we are now all that we are ever going to be. Now, that line right there, that hit me. When I don't stretch, when I don't seek, when I don't risk, when I don't reach for more and fall into the pattern of what's comfortable, what's happening is a consent to right now is all I will ever be. And that's a big question to ask yourself. Is right now, at this very moment, all that you would ever want to be? Or do you desire more to grow, of which is embedded within your spiritual DNA? You're supposed to feel that. So then he goes even further. So if you are in a comfort zone, beware. You have to beware. You got to, we're just going to say it exactly how it is. You've got to beware. Why? The danger of a comfort zone is that it doesn't hurt, and it might even feel good. Now think about that. Take a screenshot of this. This right here shook me the first time that I heard it. I played it again and again and again. And I go, man, no, that's no longer something that I'm going to accept in my life. I'm going to use dissatisfaction, which is what's in you and in me, to propel into transform to something different. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. See, that's what you've got to lock into. And then move into that discomfort, which is the unknown, the uncertainty. Now remember, everything around you at one time was not there. The roads you drive on, the car you drive. My gosh, this wonderful handheld device you use frequently. Amazon, how many of you love Amazon? Oh my gosh, I do. This streaming platform here. It was all impossible at some time before, but somebody believed, somebody decided to get out of their comfort zone and go into that uncertainty. And because they believed, because they held on the screen of their mind that beautiful picture, what unfolded was a change in the outer world. And what's amazing is that it's available to every single one of us. It's available to you the same way that it's available to me. Everyone has this right to be rich. Every one of us has dominion over this earth. Everyone has this beautiful opportunity to grab onto that and to engage with it. But the only way that you engage with it is by entering into the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of thought, which is where, again, we go full circle with regards to what we're sharing with you, because that's what you've got to change. And this is what we hope you see that we can help you with to change in your life, of which when you do learn how to do that, you can do it for any area of your life. So, Dolly.
You know, at the beginning of this call, I talked about how we would go on a journey together. And as you, once again, because hearing everyone's story, even though I've heard it before, because I've changed, we set that intention stepping in. I heard it so differently than I did coming in. And this is something I'm breathing in and processing today, because I watched everyone evolve. I felt it. Let me say it that way. Like each of you, once again, we all have caves that we will enter that we fear to do. And there will be absolutely no evidence that what you dare to dream will ever come true. And this is why you surround yourself with dreamers. You borrow their beliefs, you summon their stories. Because there is something inside of you that sees it, just like I saw it too. I saw it. And then all of a sudden, other people said, "Oh my God, I see it with you." I was like, "No way." And they did. And they gave me strength when I didn't have it. So thank you for doing the work. Thank you for being here today and being a witness to emergence for us too, because we rise together, guys. We love you so much. We'll see you on the other side.
The truth begins to rise, a new creation I see through